We back. What's good, everybody? YouTube, MFFLs. What's good, everybody? Welcome to another brand spanking new edition of We Talk Mavs here on the Glow Sun Sports YouTube channel. I feel like it's been a minute, even though it's only been a few days. I know we're on a little hiatus, a little break right now because the Mavs are on their little break as far as the All Star weekend. But the show never stops, guys. We are here for you. And of course, I got to introduce the man who is with me. But before I do that, y'all guys already know who I be. It is your boy Real. But also joining me is the guy who had to talk some sense into Carl Anthony Towns when he made that nonsensical comment about being the best big man shooter of all time. And that's my co-host King. What's up, man?
Nothing much, homie. Let's get into this show. Ready to talk to the people. We can talk about that and other things. Let's do this.
Yes, sir. We'll definitely get into that. Listen, ladies and gentlemen, like I said, welcome to a brand spanking new edition of We Talk Mavs. Usually, guys, we do little post game videos and stuff like that of the games of the evening. But tonight, we're going to do something a little different. Tonight, we're going to be doing this for you guys. Tonight is your show tonight, guys. So, we're going to do a live comment and question show, guys. Guys, all comments and questions. If you guys have any comments or questions, you're going to go ahead and bring them in today, man. We're going to get into it. We're going to address them and have an all out conversation about this team and the direction that it's going in. So, with all that being said, man, King, you ready to get into it, man?
Let's do it.
All right, man. Let's go ahead and get into the main question of tonight, man. I know y'all guys saw it on the thumbnail. I think the main question that we're going to get into tonight, guys, is Luca deserving of the MVP votes right now? I know you guys saw that now. After us kind of complaining about it and voicing our opinion about it, we've finally seen the national media starting to highlight the fact that Luca is out here doing work without anybody talking about it. And I think they're finally starting to give him his due. So, King, do you think Luca should be in the MVP conversation, or do you think Luca should get the MVP?
How about a convincingly or convincing yes to both of those
I thought you
answers?
were gonna say. I thought you were gonna say hell yes. So I thought you were gonna say
But yes, for both of those answers. One, he
hell
should be in the
yeah.
conversation. I told you I had him probably tied for second, probably with Embiid and Joker as well. At one point, I thought CP3 was the MVP. I thought he should have been last year, but especially with the news of him missing 6 to 8 weeks, um, coming out yesterday at the All Star game, I think it's as open as ever for Luca to go and grab it. I truly think if Lucas continues to play at this level that he's playing right now, and the Mavericks continue winning with him playing at this level, why not? Um, why not? I mean, I don't really see why not. He's playing at a ridiculous level. I don't even think Joel Embiid is playing at this level, like because he has his triple threat, as LeBron said in his quote yesterday, as far as he can pass the ball, and that's the first thing he wants to do. So yeah, man, I told you I was looking at him getting back to 28, 9 and 9 this year. He's up to like 27 and a half right now. Another 50 point will put him up there with ease, been being a 40 and some change to 28, his 9 and 9. And he can get his efficiency over 45% as far as shooting from the field, which I believe he will. And also get his 3 point percentage, up to over 35 maybe, which I believe he will as well. I don't see why not, man. He has the argument of being on the all defensive team as well. So I don't see why not. The Mavs have a better record. They have that same narrative as I think I said to you before and others. Almost every narrative you can throw for every MVP candidate this year, you can throw that same narrative for Luca at this moment. So you tell me why not, brother.
I mean, we see what this guy's doing. Like you said, not having a number two. Supposedly KP was our number two, and we saw how that turned out. He finally got traded, and it's like once that happened, he just turned up to a whole nother level. He just his impact on this team, man. The thing is, Luca's been doing this all year. He just hasn't been getting the notoriety and the eyeballs on him because people were kind of focusing on something else at the time, not really focusing on this young man's game. And for him to come out and do some of the stuff that he's been doing right now, it's only right, man, that we start giving him the love that he deserves. 'Cause like you said, he's also in that kind of range with the Jokic and the Embiid as far as the record of the team. So it's not like you said before, it's not like those teams are like clearly ahead of the Mavericks right now, and Dallas is way back here, and Luca doing this. Now Luca's in there with them in that 11 to 12 to 13 game over 500 range, and so like I said, and he's doing it as a solo superstar. I'm not gonna say by himself because we got to give the other guys credit, but as a solo superstar, he's doing this. And like I said, it's a testament to him. It's a testament to Jason Kidd. It's a testament to Nico. And so we have to start giving these guys their props. Have to start giving their credit. We need to start highlighting that more. And as a Mav community, guys, we got to start putting that. We got to start highlighting that and putting that out there. If they're not going to drive home the narrative, that's where we come in. And we also going to need the local media to start helping drive that narrative too, because they see what this kid is doing, man, and they're not highlighting it enough, in my opinion. So that's why I feel like, they got to highlight this a little bit more, man, and start giving Luca his proper due, man, because he's playing like an MVP right now.
Yeah.
And you talked about the numbers of Luca with him playing for the Mavericks and without playing for the Mavericks this season. And those numbers are pretty much my definition. I've been saying this whole time of what an MVP is. If you take this guy off of this team, how much does that impact the team? And it showed with their record that they're not a good team without Luca. And so for this team not to be a good team, and then you put that one player in there and it just takes them to a whole nother level, that says a lot about how important Luca is, which to me is an MVP type of player.
Yes, sir. Also, I'll throw in there. I think the conversation starts to be had about you not having a real number two once a player averages more than 10 points more than his number two or his second guy on his team. And Luca right now, as we said, averaging 27 and a half. And I think JB's at 16 and some change. So he's about 11 points higher than JB. So that means he's the guy on the team and a solo valuable dude, the solo all star as he is. So, I mean, as I said, every narrative works in Luca's favorite the same way it will work for everyone else. You got the possibly being a home seed in the playoffs. You got the no help as far as his guys and still doing it. You got, hey, he's a two-way player. You got that argument. You got every argument basically, other than the older argument that CP3 and LeBron could have. Everything else, it's Luka, man. Like, I don't see why not. And this Maverick team was not expected to do this. That goes, like you said, testament to Jason Kidd and the rest of the management, because they're doing their thing as well, having these boys play a different way. And as I said at the beginning of the year, man, it's Luka's to lose almost every year. This guy, this guy almost averages a triple double. Like, we saw what happens with Russell Westbrook, and the knock has always been that it doesn't affect winning, which is a wrong knock, because I believe Russell Westbrook wins 70% of the time he gets a triple double. But people don't talk about that one. That's my love for Russ, a different day. But Luka as well, when he gets a triple double, it leads to winning. So this guy is basically doing everything on the basketball court, and it's leading to wins. So you have to give him the MVP basically every year, as long as the Mavericks keep winning. So.
No, I believe, like I said, I agree. If him out there is impacting the winning, and it shows with the stats, I mean, it shows with the record, I should say. And so, like I said, you can't just say who's a clear, definitive MVP unless that's really who you want as far as like narrative wise. You know what I'm saying? As far as like a Joel Embiid, anything like that. When this guy is in the conversation too, or should be in the conversation, he's having the same impact on his team and all that stuff with a lot of limitations, like you just said. So I definitely feel like he should definitely be in the conversation. I think he leapfrogged a few of those players that you had named off. Like, you had a lot of those players who were in the conversation at the beginning of the year. You know what I'm saying? As far as like maybe a Giannis or a Steph Curry. Who else? Jokic. You know what I mean?
Ja.
Like, I really feel like he's in there with the Joel Embiid, as far as both of these guys not having that second guy, and they're literally both carrying their team right now. And so I really feel like it's those two guys. You could have threw Chris Paul in there because of the impact or whatever he had this year, but I think he's going to probably be out now because he's going to be out 6 to 8 weeks because of that thumb
Yeah,
injury. And
yeah.
so, all right, now I think it's got to be a toss up between Luca and Joel Embiid if you're talking about the true definition of what an MVP is. Because I know a lot of the people they like the narratives, and so they're going to try to keep those other guys in there because of narratives. But when we're talking about the true definition of what an MVP is, it's got to be those two.
But let me ask you a question: do you feel like anyone does more for their team than Luka Doncic does?
Nah, because like you said, well, LeBron said it during the All Star weekend. He impacts the game in every facet of the game, in scoring, rebounding, assisting, and now you can throw in defense. You know what
Defense,
I'm saying?
uh-huh.
And so the guy is impacting the game on all facets of the game, man. And like I said, that is a true definition of MVP. And I'm glad to see Luca starting to get it, man.
Yeah,
I'm really glad he's starting to get it, starting to get his due. Like I said, had a lot of people talking about him this All Star weekend. So hopefully, what I'm saying, it'll lead to getting a little bit more eyeballs, a little bit more attention because they have a little bit of a stretch of some games here left before the end of the season, man. So hopefully he gets enough attention to where he starts getting that notoriety of what, maybe we can throw Luca in there as a MVP, and so
these
we'll have to see.
these upcoming games are the games I actually enjoy though. Like these are the games I'm like the Mavericks about to go out there and show the nation something. Um, but other than that, with the Luca conversation, excuse me, I told you and the Mavericks fans on here as well. This guy, the league or the average, I guess, legend in this game loves Luka Doncic. There's the video going on of Michael Jordan. He gave people hugs and all. The epic moment with LeBron James. I guess we can get into that a little bit later. But also going up to Luka Doncic, and he told him, stay healthy. And you got something special. I believe he said. I believe that's what he said after saying you. From me listening to it over and over again. Um, but it's like, man, Michael Jordan sees that in Luka Doncic. LeBron James sees that in Luka Doncic. Like, you guys, we have something special here, and we have to make sure that the league knows it, that we stay behind him, because you don't want him to go somewhere else. As I said before, every other team in the NBA would love Luka Doncic to be a free agent or
Oh
to
yeah,
say, I don't want the listen to me again, every team. That includes the Atlanta Hawks, that includes the Memphis Grizzlies, that includes the Los Angeles Lakers. Every team would listen if Luka Doncic said, I want to be a free agent right now. You guys, myself included, have to understand that we have something great going on right now. You got to stay behind them, man, because you don't want them to ever want to leave this that great city and then want
nope.
to go somewhere else. So got to stay behind them, man. No, not a basketball town or nothing like that. You have somebody special here who could be the most recognizable sports athlete, in the world. So that's just my thing, man. Just stay behind Luca. You got something special, some guy that can be in the MVP conversation for 10 more years, even more longer than that, possibly if he wants to. So that's not nothing to just laugh at or so. It's a special thing that a lot of, like I said, cities and franchises would love to have.
Yeah, man. The players like Luca don't grow on trees every day, man. So
No, not at all.
people definitely got to understand that, man. Um, I was trying to let the questions and stuff build up a little bit. Hell, usually we be having more questions and comments than this before we start when we doing our videos.
You're fine.
Um,
Let's talk about
is
some
there
of the
anything else?
let's
Oh,
talk
go ahead.
about some of the things you recognized in All Star Weekend. Some of the special things you may have seen. Like even did you hear Draymond Green's quote about Luca?
Yeah,
LeBron's quote about Luca. I wish Larry Bird was there. That's like, man, there was so many legends. I was like, man, they aren't there. I still haven't heard Larry Bird's take on Luca. I'm interested in hearing that. I feel like somebody need to get those two together or something. But yeah, man, it was like a lot of love for Luca at the All Star game. I know they build up Ja at the actual game with the dunks and all, and that's all fine. Ja is a highlight machine, and he's as I said, Ja is an awesome player. I think Ja is an incredible player. I think he'll be on the next the top 100 list when it's made in 25 years or whatever. But I just think it's levels to it. And that's the only thing we try to promote and push on this show. No disrespect to Ja. Let's say all love to Ja. I think he's incredible. I think he's on his way to being a top 10 player in the NBA. But I think Luka Doncic is the top 5 player in the NBA right now, and could possibly be the best player in the NBA. That's just the levels, I think. So it's no disrespect to him at all, anybody else. But yeah, man, the quotes back to that were incredible. I felt like, and I felt like everybody was giving Luka love. So I just wanted to throw some of that out there.
Yeah, you was talking about All-Star Weekend. I want to talk to you about what did I tell you when you was like, "Oh, Luka got to go out here," or Luka, you and Daryl was like, "Luka finna go out here and clown," and I told y'all,
he's still going to do it.
Listen, let me talk about the All-Star game, man. This is what I was trying to tell you. When we were kids, you saw how important the All-Star game was to us, right? Like we would shut down everything we were doing that weekend to sit in front of a TV to watch every festivity for the All-Star game, up till the actual game. And I remember, man, I was sitting there when I was watching the game. I was sitting there reminiscing about certain games that I loved to watch during those runs during the All-Star game. I remember my favorite one was back in, I believe it was 93 or 94. It was a year the Bulls and the Suns played in the championship. And Charles Barkley won the MVP that year at the All-Star game and also for the season. And so that was one of my favorite ones. That was when the All-Star games were competitive. You actually had guys out there. I'm trying to prove to you that I'm the best player right here. Even though everybody knew Jordan was, but everybody still wanted to go out there and prove something. You know what I'm saying? Like every once in a while you had like, these highlights or whatever, but you're doing that in the midst of a competitive game. These dudes were literally just walking up the court, snowboard. So what do you call that when you back here not playing defense? You just back on the other end of the court. So when they got to throw it down to them,
you cherry picking.
Yeah, you know what I mean, like that. I was like, bro, that's not exciting to watch to me, and that's why, like, really, I haven't really just truly watched the All-Star game, bro. Probably since the last one Jordan was in. That's probably the last time I actually sat and watched the All-Star game. And even that was kind of competitive because, like I said, everybody was trying to win. You had dudes like Kobe and Iris and guys like that who, like, look, I don't care if this is an exhibition game at all. I'm trying to take your head off. Yeah. And these guys, man, make so much money, and you know they do all the game, the load managements and all that stuff. So it's this what happened in this All-Star game is not new to me. Like I said, even though we've seen the last handful of years, like I said, people just walking down the court, dudes doing trick shots in the middle of the game, Steph out here just shooting layups out here from 50 feet out. You know what I mean? Why, if I was a basketball player, why would I want to get my all in the middle of all that when it's not gonna really mean anything? You're not playing tough defense on me for me to sit there and prove how good I am. Like I said, Steph shot 100 free three-pointers in the game and nobody was trying to guard him. Dude was shooting half-court threes to see if they can shoot it. You had centers bringing the ball up. All this stuff. I'm just like, bro, it's not an important game, which is why I said I didn't see Luka giving his all in this game. And he's done it the last, 3 years he's been in the All-Star game. It's like he knows it too. It's like, bro, nobody's really out here to play. You're just trying your best. Just get this go. You're going through the motions. Let's get this weekend over with so I can go take my vacation and actually relax and rest before we had this final stretch of the season. That's how he feels. And why I was sitting there saying, like, I don't look, if you go out there and score negative 30 points, I don't care. Because it don't hold the same weight as it did when he was younger. When those guys were winning MVPs in the All-Star game, okay, you got an All-Star MVP back in 97. That meant something. Just look at the rosters of those players. You had dudes on that court. Kobe at the age of 13 years old out there was trying to take your head off. Like, these guys were playing head up. Like, when him and Jordan was going at it in the All-Star games. This dude, 18, 19 years old, trying to go head up with Jordan. That wasn't just a regular game to these guys. It wasn't just like something, okay, whatever. No, these guys were out there trying to take your heads off. The year that Magic Johnson came back and played in his final All-Star game, they were competitive. Like, I know you heard the stories of when Jordan and them were going at it in those Olympic kind of scrimmages. That's how those games were in the All-Star games back in the day. Like, you guys were really going at it. And I love that. That makes it competitive. That means that we're seeing the best of the best go at it head to head. You know what I'm saying? And that's the kind of games I miss. Like I said, these games nowadays, they don't take it too serious, man. It's like you wait till the last 2 minutes of the game to finally take it serious. Like, bro, I've sat there for a whole 3 hours watching y'all just, and then last 2 minutes you decide to play. Yeah. I'm like, nah, bro. Hey,
My
like I said, if Luca don't ever go in there and score another point again in an All Star game, I'm not mad at him. Hey, you got your All Star credibility. You good. You an All Star. You're titled as an All Star. But for you to
my
go out
th-
there and have to show what you can do, I don't care. Until they make the game actually mean something, I don't care what Luca does. I don't really care anybody does out there because Steph Curry got the MVP. What does that mean? You literally was shooting free throws out there, bro. Like it don't mean anything.
Man, he was shooting more than free throws. He was out there. He put a ball in between Trae Young's leg and then took it across half court and then shot it. And did another one where he turned around and was walking back up the court. But I think about it as far as think of top three players throughout your lifetime and who's been the top three player in the NBA since you've been, I guess, watching the NBA. All those guys usually have All Star MVP. That's just it. Just is what it is. Like you got guys even back when Scottie Pippen didn't have Jordan, he won the MVP. Jordan got his. Charles Barkley has his. Karl
And
Malone and
you
Tom.
remember that game? Pippen was going
Yeah,
in on that game.
yeah.
Like
Pippen
he
was.
had a lot. He like had a lot to prove as far as because
Man,
remember he was always Jordan's sidekick. A lot of people didn't give him a lot of the credit that he deserved. So he went out
Scotty,
there and proved it amongst those other players who also had stuff to prove.
Scotty
Like those guys
Pippen,
they don't have nothing to prove.
Scotty Pippen that year almost changed history. If Scottie Pippen would have got to the finals that year, history would have
Oh
been
yeah,
changed. I tell
I
everybody,
still, I still
history
agree.
as we know it would be
Yeah,
completely different if Scottie Pippen got to that finals because then Scottie would be seen as more of an important piece. And I don't, I love Scottie Pippen. I think Scottie Pippen is one of the most disrespected
oh hands
superstars
down. I did
of
a video on that. So
all
yeah,
time. I feel like if we want to talk facts. We want to talk facts. I don't think Scottie Pippen's better than Michael Jordan. No,
no.
but Michael Jordan, without Scottie Pippen, won one playoff game in 3 years.
Yep.
Scottie Pippen, without Michael Jordan, made it to the second round of the playoffs, and then people say he could have got screwed and all should have been in the Eastern Conference Finals, maybe even the finals that year. He came in
Remember
third
he did
place.
go to the Western Conference Finals too.
Yep, went
As
to the Western Conference Finals afterwards with Portland.
Portland. Yep.
But that was after his injuries and all. So everyone always says, well, what about when he left Chicago and all? If you watch The Last Dance, which would actually help him out now, you saw why Scottie Pippen wasn't the same player when he left Chicago because those type of injuries and all happened. We had to get surgeries and things like that. But going back to Scottie, that year right there, he was third in the MVP votes, I want to say. He led the Chicago Bulls in every statistical category, basically major statistical
He
category
averaged
that
like I believe he averaged 22.
year, like
I
22,
want to say
8,
seven
7,
and
8
yeah,
and
something
7
like
or
that.
something
Yeah,
like
I
that,
know,
and two
I know he scored
steals,
22.
and then like two steals a game and all. Like Scottie Pippen, and then maybe a block. Like Scottie was all over the place that year, and I just think Scottie like he bit the bullet, and I feel like it kind of now he hates it because he's the one that's like the awful stepchild that gets stepped on.
Yeah,
But he's like,
social media
man,
don't help either, man.
yeah, I thought we were like a team. He feels like, and it's like he's always the one that gets the finger pointed at him or things like that. Like even in the Last Dance, everybody made it like, well, Jordan just left because his dad died and all. And that's not to say that he can't leave because his dad died or anything like that. But then when Scotty says, well, you guys aren't paying me and all, and I don't want to play because I'm out there possibly hurting myself for nothing, then it's like, well, Scotty's a bad guy. And, you pointed the finger at him. He's a bad teammate. Same thing with the last shot. I feel like if Phil Jackson would have drew a play up for someone else in that situation where Michael Jordan was there, Michael Jordan probably did the same thing or would
Yeah,
have had an issue and everybody would have been like, well, Phil, what are you thinking? And Scotty felt like he paid his dues and he was the guy that year. He wanted to take the shot. He said, I've been here. We've won 3 championships with me.
I
Like,
still don't understand what Phil's thinking was on that.
I mean,
I mean,
Tony
yeah,
made
it
it.
worked, but I mean, but why didn't you even?
Tony made it. Tony had made clutch shots. Tony was known for being a clutch dude, but you go with your. I feel like you go with your superstar right there. Like that's just my. I feel like it's a team thing and it's a connection between the coaches and the players as well. And he should have knew that. I feel like Phil should have knew that Scotty wanted the ball in that moment and that you just live and die with Scotty this year. Like this is his year to show that he's that.
Right.
This was his year. This is what he wanted to do. Obviously, he wanted to show he was that guy this year. And the Bulls were never the same without Scotty because I mean with Scotty before Jordan because they just I guess didn't believe in Scotty the same way because he went off and he didn't hold that clout. So excuse me, I don't know. I just think Scottie Pippen is horribly underrated now at a level I feel like um just everything Scottie Pippen was asked to do for that. So all that ugly stuff that I know Michael Jordan's an awesome defender and all, but nobody wants to just defend all the time. The number one defender on the Chicago Bulls was Scottie Pippen.
Yep.
I know Michael Jordan could pass the ball and all, but the number one playmaker on the Chicago Bulls, Scottie Pippen, man.
Pippen
Like,
was LeBron before LeBron.
yeah, he was just LeBron. It's like
LeBron just scored more. That's it.
if you asked LeBron and Jordan to play together, it'd have been like that. Like that's LeBron probably scored a little bit more points and all, but he'd have deferred more to Jordan, passing him the ball. That's what LeBron would have been. So Scotty was kind of that mold. Like a lot of people, Magic Johnson was Magic Johnson. He played the point guard, but as far as that point forward position, as far as solidifying it and making it what it is, the Grant Hills of the world, the Tracy McGrady's that came later on, all those guys were like a different version of Scottie Pippen. I feel like even LeBron James at a different level as far as just taking it to the next extreme. And I just feel like people don't give him the respect he deserves because he's an incredible player, and I feel like one of the best players of all time, which obviously he is. So.
All right, man. I guess we can start getting into these questions and these comments, man. Let's get into it. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are now ready for your questions and your comments. It's starting to come in a little bit more now. So if you got any questions, you got any comments, guys, go ahead and get them in now. So let's go ahead and do it. Start with the first one here. All right, man. Luca and Jordan, yes sir. Mavs fan, yes sir. I like that picture too, man. Minus that's Dirk or that I can't even tell that's Dirk or that's KP.
Man, don't disrespect Dirk like that. That ain't Dirk.
Oh, it's not Dirk. Okay, yeah,
That's
KP.
That's number 6.
Oh, it's your favorite power forward all the time. My bad. All right. Marcus Zero says Luca. Yes, sir, man. Yes, sir.
Great. Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Live, what's good, man? He said, "What's up, my
What
G?"
up, Live?
Yes, sir. What's up, man? All right. He says, Live says, "I believe we can build a dynasty."
Yeah,
Listen,
we
man,
should. We should.
I was listening to 103 today. No, sorry, not 103, 105 3 today, and they had Chris Arnold on there and Kevin Gray, and they were talking about players leaving, right? They were talking about Dame Lillard and Bradley Beal, and Chris Arnold was comparing them to Dirk, and he's talking about how like, oh, everybody talking about these guys gonna leave. Dirk did the same thing. He didn't leave, and so he was talking about how it's going to be up to Cuban to try to find a way to build a proper team around Luca that they didn't do for Dirk.
Yep.
And so you're right. You're right, Laz. Like this can be a dynasty if Luca. I mean, I'm sorry, if Mark Cuban does it right and actually takes it serious. Because like I think for like 10 years, Dallas didn't even touch. Probably longer than that. Didn't touch the luxury tax, and so that's why I feel like maybe these next 2 off seasons are going to be very important for Dallas. Now I know we're not going to have a ton of money, but I think we'll have our trade exception and maybe some wiggle room as far as players we can kind of throw in some trades and stuff like that.
Yeah, we got to
try to get some players in here. I'm probably not going to be able to get a super duper star or anything, but we'll have to see how it looks also too in the sign and trade market too. But I mean, Dallas has an opportunity, man. Like people think that we just some kind of market like Milwaukee or something. Dallas is like a top 5 market in the country, man. We can. The market is big enough to get somebody in here. Like you have to build the foundation. You got Nico, you got Jason Kidd, who a lot of players like, and then, of course you got the young phenom in Luca. So you got the foundation there, man. You just got to build on it. What you think, man?
Yeah, I think people were just used to what we've already had as far as the team and the organization and the moves we've made. I'm telling you, I really think Nico's there for 5 years. Let's just have hindsight to like this episode in 5 years when we're sitting there like, man,
5 years?
Look at these. I'm not saying it's going to take 5 years. I'm just saying in 5 years, just come back and say, man, like, remember we were thinking about that or how this team will be made and all. Like, Nico is here for a reason.
Right.
Mark Cuban is no longer this. If he wanted to run the same ship over again or the same story or show, he'd have kept Donnie and them here and Rick Carlisle. He didn't want to do that. He changed it for a reason. So it's a different regime. And we should build a dynasty. The Houston Rockets should have built a dynasty with James Harden. There's a reason he's not there anymore. They should have built one. They missed out on the opportunity. When you have these special players, there's a lot of reasons. But I'm just saying, when you have these special players that you have, that's the main piece of the puzzle. That's the piece everybody and every organization is looking to get is that player. And once you have that player, it's then the management's job to build that dynasty around them. That's the reason why I say with Mark Cuban, he failed Dirk in a way. That's why he owes Dirk so much, because Dirk should have not only had one championship. Dirk showed he's a championship player, and he's been in the finals twice. he should have been with a team that could have consistently taken him to the finals. If guys like Kobe Bryant that wanted Dirk, Kobe and Dirk,
Should have
they
made
would
that Paul Pierce trade.
yep, they would have ran the league though. Like Dirk and some other wing that just Josh Howard got to the finals with Dirk. And not no disrespect to Josh. I love Josh Howard, but Josh was just that.
Paul Pierce is a top 75
That's
future
what I'm
Hall of
saying.
Famer
And
who
Josh,
at that time of the trade was averaging 26 points a game. Dallas never had that.
yep.
I mean, sorry, Dirk never had that.
That would have been an incredible person to have beside him. He just needed any wing. Josh Howard was getting you 19 and a half to right about around 20 points a game. So with a Paul Pierce guy, a guy that comes through in the fourth quarter, a clutch guy that actually makes clutch buckets and all, Dirk could have had a running partner as far as doing that. Like Mark Cuban has always been so Mr. Close, like you call him. Like almost. It's like he has so many stories of, man, we almost had Shaq. We almost had Kobe. We could have had Paul Pierce. And this and this. Like, we don't want to hear that now, man. Like,
you know what that remind me of, bro? It's like whenever we lose a game on a bad call, and then you get that L2M report afterwards. Like, what? That was a bad call, bro. We don't want to hear that. Like, you're not gonna go back and fix that to get us a win. So we want to hear that. Like, bro, Paul Pierce has been retired for about 3-4 years now, and then you tell her, you know what? We could have had Paul Pierce. Really, bro?
You should have had Paul Pierce then.
They're getting on you about not having given Dirk the proper number 2 or whatever, bro. You had this guy who's a future Hall of Famer, a surefire scorer that somebody who Dirk's never played with in his career. And you tell him you had a chance to get him, you didn't pull the trigger. Like, come on, man. But all right, man, let's get into these other ones, bro. Let's see. My baby said, "Glow gang." Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Good evening.
La says, "King and Real, you guys seem to forget about Giannis. He's still the reigning champion and will be chasing for the MVP again this year." No. I didn't forget about it. I said that look where Milwaukee is placed right now.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
go ahead. I'm sorry, bro.
No, go ahead. What you should say?
I was just going to say, Milwaukee's playing bored right now.
Yeah.
It's like they're playing like they're the champion right now, and they can they're cruising right now in a way. We're going to see if they're actually still that good to be able to do that. But Giannis is still dominant, but it just isn't. It isn't as impactful. I feel like this year, like they're
that's the word.
Just laying around just enough to stay in a top seed to be like, okay. I feel like they're actually in a way underachieving. Like the way the East is right now, Milwaukee should be the number 1 team in the East.
Exactly. That's a good point, especially how the East is right now.
Yes, Milwaukee should be the number 1 team in the East. So that's why Giannis is he's still Giannis, but he's just coasting right now. I feel like in a way which isn't
so they get to the playoffs.
Him dominant. Yeah, if he'd have been number 1 seed right now as he should have been, then yeah, absolutely Giannis would have been. But with him still having Chris Middleton, who is on path to be a Hall of Famer, everybody. You know, we talk about not last year in the playoffs, man. Chris Middleton like showed up. I have nothing to say about Chris Middleton, but at this point, he's about what, a 5-time All-Star now or so, 4-time All-Star.
He's not 3 or 4.
That's what it's about, a 4-time All-Star already. Looks like
All-Star.
Every year that Giannis is there, he's going to be. He's a champion now and all. Chris Middleton is going to be a Hall of Famer now at this point, but. If you got those guys, you should be the number 1 seed in the East, though, I think, at this point. And I don't think he's there. So I just think he's coasting.
Yeah, I agree, man. All right, man. Lau says, give me your prediction on the next road trip. Utah, Golden State, LA, Golden State again, dang, and Sacramento. Is that the LA Lakers or the LA Clippers?
The Lakers. I think we're down to Clippers.
Okay. Oh, yeah, I think we are down to Clippers.
Yeah.
1, 2, 3, 4.
My mind.
Hey, we're gonna go 4-1.
Yeah, my mind is saying 3-2, but my heart is saying 4-1. But I wouldn't even go 5-0, man. Like
that's a road trip.
Yeah, I'm not worried about it. Luca like playing on the road. I'm not worried about it.
Yeah, okay, I'm sorry. I'm just a little nervous.
My thing is, why not go 5-0? But this is it. This is why not? If they really want to solidify it and like Luca that dude, go 5-0. Do it. I think that's the like major icing on the cake right there. Like you may push Luca ahead of Joel Embiid if they can do a 5-0 road trip right there, he may be like that guy now. I think he is the front runner for MVP if he can do that.
I'm gonna say they go 4-1.
I'm gonna say 4-1 too, just to put it on wax. But 4-1 would even still possibly put them in the the front runner as far as the MVP if he goes 4-1 on that
I
trip.
don't know if they're gonna be able to beat. I don't know if they're gonna be able to beat Golden State twice. That's the only reason why I
I'm
said
gonna say they
4-1.
do. I'm gonna say they do because it's not back to back.
So who they losing to then?
I'm scared of that. So I'm scared of that Sacramento game. I know that's why Sacramento plays inside now instead of outside at all. They play all, and you know that Dallas doesn't like, or Dallas has problems with the inside as far as defending it.
And they got
Um,
Sabonis now.
yeah, that's what I'm saying. They don't really shoot a bunch of threes anymore. They go inside now. I'm worried about that game, and then I was worried about one of the Golden State games as well. But really, I'm worried about the Sacramento game. The other four, I
What
think
they
we can
call that?
probably
It could be a
one up.
trap game.
Yeah, I get worried for the Mavs doing that. But I think they beat if they beat Utah at the gate, they can beat all four of those, man. They can beat Golden State. They can beat LA.
That's the thing. Utah is the game.
Yeah, Utah is the one that's going to set the tone. If they come out and beat Utah, and it's like, okay, we back into it. They got to show us they're back into Mavs form right
Yeah.
after All-Star break. If they can come out with Utah and say, "Oh, we took it serious. We're out. We're back at it," then yeah, I see it. But if they lose to Utah, then things get sketchy. Then
All right, let's go to the next one here. Last is real. They don't play hard because they don't want to injure themselves, and I prefer our star player to be healthy and ready for the next road trip. But I feel you. I remember Kobe playing against Jordan. No, that's what I was saying, Laz. That's why I said that they don't play hard. That's one of the many reasons why they don't play hard. And it's
yeah,
like, what incentive do they have? Like I said, back in those days, like you said, the Kobe and the MJ thing, those guys play for pride.
yeah,
Like I'm playing for my reputation on the line. Like I'm here to put my name in the conversation as one of the best players in the league. You're playing against other best players in the league, and so you want to go out there and you want to dominate. Which is why you saw, like King said, you saw Scottie Pippen, get the MVP, or Iverson got a bunch of Kobe. Y'all know Kobe, one of the most competitive players of all time. That dude was trying to win an MVP every time, but also you had other players trying to compete against him too. It wasn't just Kobe out there doing what Steph Curry was doing this Sunday, where okay, I'm just gonna shoot all these shots and everybody's standing around looking and oohing and ahhing. Like, no, these guys were trying to compete too. Like, understand you trying to get the MVP, but yo, I'm trying to put my name out here too. I have to put this work in. And like I said, you had a Kobe a Kobe Bryant going, a Kobe Bryant, a Michael Jackson, a Michael Jordan going at it. It's a pride thing, man. You know what I'm saying?
I think they pay the losers too much. That's how you solve the All-Star game. You take more from the
How much?
losers.
I forgot how much the pay is.
I think they make a good amount, probably about 50K or something like that. Maybe it should
Don't
be a
their money
little
go to
more.
charity? I'll go straight to charity though, don't it?
I think they no. So when they win the game and all, they get money goes to charity and all, yes, but they still get a portion. They still get paid as athletes, so they get certain. You get amount of money for being at the All-Star game and a certain amount of money for winning. I believe. I think you should lower the amount. So since the All-Star game is a like it's
Exhibition.
yeah, a reward in a way, I should say.
Oh, yeah.
You should give guys the opportunity to go, and it's like, oh, you get paid a little something for going, okay. But then if you win the game, though, like you make a ton more money or whatever like that, so that then guys are out there actually trying to win because I want to get paid or whatever. Like if it's close enough or it's not enough money, I just feel like guys aren't trying to do what they want to do. You got to make it like a regular game where guys out there trying to get paid, man.
But thing is though about that, this is the reason why that whole mid was one of the many reasons why the whole mid-season tournament thing is not going to work.
That makes no
If
sense.
you're offering them $1 million, man, these dudes are making 15 to
Yes.
20 to 30 to 40 a year. Like that little funky little, a mil or 2 million or whatever that you're giving them, that doesn't mean anything to them. These guys got endorsements that's killing that.
Yeah.
And so
Not for a tournament though, bro. For a game, I see.
no.
But not
I'm
for a
saying for the
tournament.
game, which is why, like I said, that's why they're not motivated too. It's like, oh, we're gonna give you this cool little 1 million, 2 million or whatever. Like, okay, I can get that on one game in a regular season. Like, that's not gonna mean anything to me. Like I said, I got endorsements. You know what I'm saying? These guys are making, 15, 20, 30, $40 million a year. That's that little funky little money that they're giving out to them during the All-Star game. That's not gonna mean anything to them. And so,
Yeah,
like I said, I don't. To me, I feel like it's a pride thing, man. Like I said, these guys, we're talking about in an era where people are game managing now. So if this game is not gonna mean anything or anything like that, why would I go out here and give my all? It's kind of like I said, I compared. I know I told you guys in the group. I compared it to the Pro Bowl. Like, why would I put my body on the line for a game that doesn't mean anything? It's not gonna lead me to a championship or anything like that. You know what I'm saying? You already have your accolade as being an all-star player. That's already on your resume now. But as far as like I said, like I told you before too, with the MVP, it doesn't mean the same now as it does back then. It's like okay, like I said, if it meant that much to everybody, everybody be going there playing hard for that MVP like they did back in the day. Like I want that MVP. You know what I'm saying? I remember them game where Stephon Marbury and Iverson were both on the same team trying to compete for the MVP. You know what I'm saying? And
Yeah.
so they don't do it no more. Like it's not really a big deal. Look, I'm an all star already. That's on my resume. That me being an all star is gonna add money in my pocket in the long run, as far as like a max or whatever the case is. And so that's more important than me saying like what, I'm an all star in an all star game. It don't hold the same weight as it did 15, 20 years ago.
I think you're over exaggerating it a little bit as far as the money. So $1 million, I think, will be awesome. I think these guys are making maybe like 50K or so, which is like
Well, see,
that's
but this
chump change.
see even though even
So
still,
that's what I'm
like
saying.
I think I'm
That's
playing
chump change.
more
I'm
like
saying a
50
million
million, bro.
though.
I got that on my pillowcase at the
Yeah,
house.
50, for 50K and all, that's like nothing to these players. Most of the main guys. But if they made $1 million for one game, I think guys would go ahead and play. If it was like 50K for the loser and like $1 million for the winning squad, I think it'll work because for one game, the tournament being $1 million for the tournament, that's too many games for $1 million. I think one game will work for 1 million, and then also I think another way you do it, you make it like the All-Star game in baseball. So you give them $1 million, and you make it like you bring it back to the East and the West, and then whatever side wins the All-Star game gets home
I
court
rather
going to
I
the
rather do
finals.
it like that.
Whatever
Add some
whatever
type of
team
incentive to it to where like if the East wins, then the East is going to host
host
the
the
finals.
finals.
Yeah,
Yes, that's what you should do. You make it so it's interesting, so that then you don't play with the teams as far as different players on different teams. Like the West is actually playing for it because we all are playing for one equal thing. If any of our teams make the finals, then we'll have home court. Same thing with the East. So I think they should add that element to it. Learn more from baseball because even in the home run derby, I think the player that wins gets $1 million over those. So that makes them want to play. $1 million for one single event is a bunch of money. So guys would do that. But then you also add that fact where my team could possibly host the finals because of this. I think it'll work. I think it's a simple answer, but they haven't seemed to want to go that route yet.
yeah, I like that route better. All right, man. Lazo said, "Do you guys think that Jokic will one day play with Luca?" Hey, I hope he do play with Luca here in Dallas. You don't hope that that Luca go over to Denver or anything. What you
If,
think, man?
if neither one of them win a championship, yes, I do. The way their reaction or their interaction is with each other, they're going to play with each other. They're too close of friends, so it'll happen where they'll set each other up if they don't win a championship. So if both of them are in like 5 years not champions, then okay. But if like Joker wins one or Luca wins one, then it lowers the odds or
Yeah,
whatever. I personally still rather have Giannis with Luca than the Joker, but I wouldn't mind the Joker as well though, or either.
what could have been, King? What could
Yeah,
have been?
man.
Israel says, "I was thinking the same thing. Talk about a duo. Who would go? Who would go where? Yeah, that's what we just said. Hopefully, he would be here in Dallas, man. I feel like Yokes will get a little bit more exposure here in Dallas compared to Denver. We a bigger market.
Yeah, I do think Dallas would be the top pick if they had to choose. Probably, I would think it'd be Dallas over Denver.
All right, let's see. So La says, oh, he's talking to Israel. He said, I think Jokic and Luca understand the importance of loyalty to the team. I don't see it happening, unfortunately. I remember I did a video on that, man. I talked about 3 reasons why, Luca wouldn't leave Dallas. And I talked about the fact that a lot of the star Euro players aren't known for leaving their teams or aren't known for moving around like that. Yeah, you get a Laurie Marketing or you get a Dragic, somebody like that move around. Those guys aren't like top star players like a Giannis or a Jokic or a Luca, somebody like that, or a Dirk, what I'm saying, or a Ginobili, all them guys. Like those type of people aren't normally known for leaving. They come into the league at a very young age, into a whole nother country that they're not used to. So these franchises cater to them to the point that it makes them feel comfortable to where they don't want to go anywhere else. And we saw that here with Dirk for 21 years. Like Dirk literally grew up here in Dallas. This is his home. Other than Germany, this is his home. His whole entire adult life was here in Dallas. So this is all he knows. So the chances of guys like that leaving are very slim because they're comfortable. They're not from here. Like guys here in the United States, you see these guys moving all the time because they're from the United States. I wouldn't mind going to Boston. I wouldn't mind going to, Cleveland or whatever. You know what I'm saying? They're from here, so it's nothing to them. It's their country. They're used to it. But those guys aren't from here. So once they kind of get settled in the spot, that's where they want to stay.
My thing, I just want to throw in there lies the loyalty to a team thing. I guess I fit on the other side of the fence as far as like the LeBron James side. Now I do think there should be I guess a mutual respect between the players and the organizations. But I think that loyalty to a team thing kind of goes a little too far because you got players that can be cut any day.
Yep.
That's out there trying their hardest, like a Moses Brown. Not to say Moses Brown was the greatest player or not, but he was out there obviously, and they talked about him in practice and all doing all he could and all. And he got cut. I mean, things happen. It's a business. If Nikola Jokic goes out there and maybe tears an ACL, knock on wood, and his game is never the same again, he already has a 5-year contract. The Nuggets at some point are going to say, "How can I get rid of you and get some value for you?" So if they have the opportunity to do that, then players got to have the opportunity to say, "Well, I've filled my contract." So my issue is asking to get traded in the middle of your contract or demanding a trade.
Middle. You mean at the beginning?
Yeah, any point of your contract, I feel like you should not demand a trade. That's you gave your word, and you should go ahead and play out your contract. Once your
Because
contract,
because piggyback off what you just said, if we at home know the situation of the team that you're signing with, you know too. So for
exactly,
you to sit there and sign that contract and then say, you know what, I want to get out of here. Like, come on, man.
yeah,
Don't do that. You didn't trust that team or you knew how the organization was. You shouldn't have signed that contract.
yes. So that's what I think. I think that's dirty to set up a team like that. So like Anthony Davis set up the New Orleans Pelicans.
Yeah.
That's horrible. Ben Simmons, the same thing. The Philadelphia fans turned on him. I kind of understand the Ben Simmons thing a little different. Well, think about it a little differently because Doc Rivers and Joel Embiid kind of screwed that relationship up at a point by doing what they did after the game. They kind of screwed the relationship with them as far as they said some stuff about Ben Simmons and he feels like he's a man. Like, I need to defend myself. These guys are talking bad about me. But then at the same time, he's in Philadelphia. So if he doesn't show up in Philly, then the fans are going to turn on him completely. The fans booed Kobe in the All-Star game. I remember that. Like, that's the thing the Philadelphia crowd does. They boo Santa Claus and all.
Boo Santa Claus, yep.
So I just think that that's a different situation as far as mental health that we aren't thinking about, as far as him not wanting to maybe be in front of those fans getting booed by his own team. That Russell Westbrook thing isn't easy. That Russell experiencing right now, that has to be horrible. But yeah, man, I think players, once your contract is over and you're done, you have all right to go to any team you want to. So if Joker gets to the end of this contract and he says, "I don't want to sign an extension," you go check wherever you want to go. Same thing with Luca. I wouldn't be mad. I hope now that the thing is back on Mark Cuban and Nico to make sure that he doesn't want to play out a contract and test free agency. But if you are a free agent, you get to test free agency and go anywhere you want in free agency. That's your right. I have no problem with any player doing that.
All right, let's get into the rest of these questions. Got a lot of them coming in. Brunlaw said, "Glad we changed up the front office. Let's go, Nico. Shout out to Glow Gang. Yes, sir. Glow Gang. Yeah, man. We got to give Nico his props, man. Definitely got to give Nico his props. Nico is making very intelligent and sound moves. Like I said, with that move that he made here, trading off KP, for one, he got rid of KP. I'm happy. So y'all know how I was about KP. I'm just kind of glad to get him off the books. And for you to make the type of move to where you get two guys who can contribute to add depth to your team. They both are making about half of what he's making on the contract, which means you can easily move each one of those guys separately or together or whatever. You can move them. And on top of that, for the contracts to not be fully guaranteed, like in the last year of their contract or something like that. So for you to kind of get that, and on top of that, they only got 2 years left. They had the same length as KP had left on his contract, which is perfect too.
So really only 1 year.
Yeah, so pretty much like 1.5, I guess you could say.
Yeah.
So yeah. So like I said, perfect move for Nico. I know a lot of the national people think, oh, they shouldn't have traded KP, which is it's crazy to me because y'all were the same ones who were dogging KP, and now all of a sudden we trade KP. What was y'all thinking?
Yeah.
So much flip flopping. But anyway, yeah, I'm with you. I'm with you, bro. I'm with you, man.
I agree.
All right, man. Lyle says, if we want to build a dynasty, we will need a second star. Who do you guys see playing for the Mavs as a second star? Next year, I'm not sure because we kind of tied up next year. Dallas can make a few little small little moves to kind of add more depth to the team. But 2023, I don't have a list of who's gonna be a free agent around that time. Um, the one thing that I definitely need to do, they need to go after a big man. They definitely need to go after a big man. I know y'all heard me talking about DeAndre Ayton. I sent the group, man, a little video that this guy did talking about the whole DeAndre Ayton situation, which is what I was talking about a few videos ago. The Phoenix owner is not known for paying, and he went all the way back to when he didn't re-sign Joe Johnson, which is one of the stupidest moves that Phoenix could have done. And as a Mad fan, I was glad. I mean, there's one less weapon that Phoenix had on that team, and of course, it made it a little bit easy for us to finally get to the finals to get past Phoenix because they didn't have that extra weapon on their team. But that owner is not known for paying, and now they have three max players. He doesn't want to go over the luxury tax and pay a fourth max player. And they also have the mind frame of, look, centers are kind of like running backs in football. You don't want to overpay for a center in the NBA anymore. You feel like you can get the value for prime example. You see what they're getting out of Biz back Biyombo for about a third, probably less than that, of what DeAndre Ayton is commanding on the open market. And so that's why they don't want to overpay for a center. You look at the centers who are making the big bucks. You got Nico, pretty much, and Nico, Joel, and Rudy Gobert. But
Cat.
those guys are special circumstances. One of those guys is a dominant defensive player of the year, and the other two are MVP candidates. So you're not
Car-
going to get that every day at that position, which is why they had the idea of like, look, we can get something else that can do the same thing you can do at a cheaper price.
Carl Anthony Towns. Don't forget about him.
Oh yeah, sorry, and Carl Anthony Towns, yeah. So still not a long list. You know what I'm
Nah.
saying? So that's why that's their thinking as far as them paying DeAndre Ayton. Guy hasn't been an All Star. You know what I'm saying? So they feel like because I know he's commanding the type of money that Luca and Trey Young and those guys are making because we've addressed it before in a previous video. He feel because he was the defensive anchor, the anchor in the middle as far as defense and offense for that team and leading them to the finals, that he should get that type of money just like those guys. But Phoenix has a different mind frame of that. What you think, bro?
You can. I would just click the next one because it's basically the same question. I'll just attack that one.
Okay. Daryl says, who would be a great number two for Luca? Who would you love to have? Go ahead, bro.
Um, so the ultimate players I just said earlier, if we wanted to be like a 10-year dynasty, like one of those Laker teams that just run the whole not say century, decade, it would be Giannis. That's the perfect number two for Luka Doncic. I think Giannis and Luka would run. They could have a chance to being two of the top five players of all time, just running it together. I think. Um, but if that isn't the situation with that,
That'd be so stupid, boy.
man,
It
that
wouldn't
would
even be
be
fair, man.
it would be
Jesus, it
it
wouldn't
would
even
be
be fair.
disgusting if they played
Oh
together.
my God, boy.
Uh,
Nasty.
but right now, my number two, I'm actually thinking about it now. I'm like, we should go after DeAndre Ayton, man. Like, I think that's a major.
Man, you took that from me, man. I said DeAndre.
Yeah, I agree. We talked about it
No,
before, no, but I'm serious. We should go after because Miles Turner now looks like he's going to be kept. We should go after DeAndre Ayton. And the thing is that I don't want to keep turning. I feel like I'm turning on JB and all. I told you I only want to trade JB if it's for the
if you can get
possibility of
something,
getting
yeah.
somebody that's like an all-star type level or no. And if Chris Paul is hurt again, and that ends up hurting, the Suns and their playoff chances and things like that, as far as actually in the playoffs, they may be looking for another point guard. And if they're looking for another point guard, then why not see if you can trade JB over there for DeAndre Ayton, JB with a new contract? The thing is, I don't worry about the players too much or who we're going to get. If a player just has to say he wants to come to Dallas, that's it's as simple as that. Like I don't. So getting another guy,
From yours, bro. This is what I'm thinking. We see what Luca is doing with the team they have right now without a number two. You add just that one guy, and just imagine how much Dallas will elevate. And I know y'all get tired of me saying this player's name when I bring up the example, but just imagine what Dallas have looked like with this same exact team
DeMar
if
DeRozan.
you added DeMar DeRozan.
Yeah.
You take Tim Hardaway out because pretty much he's not with the team right now anyway. So you pretty much taking Tim Hardaway out.
Or Dinwiddie.
Oh yeah, and Dinwiddie and Bertrand. But yeah,
or Dinwiddie, you could take him out. Either one of those guys and put in DeMar
the reason why I'm
DeRozan.
saying Tim because that was the guy this summer that if we didn't
Oh,
sign him, you would have had the money to get or Reggie Bullock, you would have had the money to get DeMar DeRozan. Just imagine Luca and DeMar DeRozan, man. This dude's an MVP candidate too.
How much did DeMar get, bro? How much did he get a year? Do you know?
28
He got 28
for 3 years.
So we could have
3 years, 28 a year.
So we could have included him in like a trade exception and then not signed like what's his name?
Well,
Sterling Brown, right?
well, no, because trade exception was only like 11. He's making 28.
I'm saying if we'd did a trade with like he was
Oh,
San
you talking about to
Antonio.
get Reggie Bullock?
Yeah, nah.
We could have got Reggie
San
Bullock.
Antonio.
Reggie's only making 10. The trade exception is 11.
I'm saying if San Antonio would have did a sign and trade with him, right? Couldn't we have used the trade exception and given to them and a player for DeMar DeRozan?
Hold on. Did we use the trade exception on Reggie?
No, we still have the trade exception. We still have $11 million in the trade exception. That's what I'm saying until next year. So that's what I'm saying. It didn't even have to be Tim Hardaway. We got like Sterling Brown and stuff like that. Like one of those players without trade exception would have been enough for DeMar DeRozan. Yeah.
Like I said, from what we heard, from a lot of the guys here, the local guys, Dallas wasn't even trying to attempt to go talk to DeMar. It's just every time I think about that, it's stupid, bro. You could have had him and Luca right now, bro.
Yeah,
that would have been. Oh my god,
that's ridiculous. That's
ridiculous, crazy, man. Damn,
Marky. The number 2 though. So right now though, we need a big guy. Like we need a big guy. He's the main thing. I don't even think another. So I think we have enough guys that flow right now in the offense. So the way the offensive scheme is, it's really based in flow as well. Jason Kidd is doing a lot of what Rick Carlisle did. Obviously, he won a championship with Rick Carlisle. And guys are flowing. That's the reason why KP didn't really fit as much, because KP didn't flow. KP was that guy where we always had to stop the game and get KP involved. And that's not the way you play with Luka Doncic. You have to have players that's out there willing to maybe get 6 points this game and then come back and get you 20 or something like that. Like, you got to have those guys. It's like, I'm going to always be prepared. No matter what, if the ball touches my hand, I got to be prepared to shoot. And KP wasn't that guy. He didn't want to play that way. He wanted to play through him, of thinking he had more, skill than what he was. And I think these players now that he's gone understands who they are. And I think the players knew as well that KP wasn't as good as Luka. They have to know. And it has to be like, man, you could be a nice guy, but at some point, man, you're hurting the team. So I just think the perfect guy right now would be a big guy that goes along, because the system seems to work as far as offense. I believed in offense. I know a lot of guys said the offense would turn around, and a lot of people gave him flack for that. And it has turned around. It turned around with Luka Doncic. Luka was the main piece of the offense that was missing. And now we just need that rim protection and a guy that can finish lobs. And I think if we get that, sky's the limit. I don't even think Luka needs a guy that can score a bunch of points beside him, because this team can score a bunch of points in bunches.
Daryl says, is 2023 the year to strike with the cap space for the Mavs? It's what it's looking like right now, but we'll have to see. And hey, like I said, when Nico made this KP move, so I ain't no telling what Nico can do this summer, man. We can sit here and say we strapped for cash, but I feel like Nico can find a way, man.
Man, he did the KP move and the Josh Richardson move, and we just need a player to say he wants to come to Dallas, man. Like, it's not hard to match money. It's not that hard. People make $10 million, $20 million, whatever it is.
We definitely have the sign and trade on the table. We definitely have.
So all somebody has to do is say they want to come to Dallas, and Dallas can get a player. It's not that serious. That's if you just want to do it like it was the old NBA, where guys didn't know they were getting traded, and such that loyalty and all of that, where you stay with whatever team you wanted to. Now, in this day and age, all you have to do is say you want to play for an organization, and a team has to take what the organization can give to them, because if not, no other team's going to want you, because you're saying where you want to go. So a player just has to say they want to play for Dallas, and it's as simple as that.
All right, man. Israel says Luka is hot right now. Hottest in the league. Go ahead and give him that player of the month, man. They need to go ahead and give him that, like, right now. Not right now, but right now.
Yeah, he's going to get it. That's going to be big for him.
Bro says, I'm not sleeping on the Lakers. I think they will struggle even without AD playing. I'm not sleeping on them, but I think we got that dub, man. Lakers are in a shout to Daryl. The Lakers are right now, they just in a disarray right now, man. They don't really know what they want to do. You start to get those reports that's coming out that, LeBron and Pelinka are beefing, and they don't know what they want to do with Westbrook. He should come off the bench, but his pride won't let him. Of course, AD is out. LeBron having to carry the team at the age of 215 years old. It's a lot going on right now, man. It's a lot going on for the
we
Lakers.
we had a group message about the Lakers because we talk about all the NBA, you guys, and we talked about. I asked them, would the Lakers ever make that move by trading LeBron James? Because at this point now, you're getting to a level where LeBron's an older guy. You got Russell Westbrook, which messed the whole, I guess, the rest of any chance, any window closed it. And then Anthony Davis didn't become the guy you wanted him to become or you thought he could become.
Nope.
So the piece really that you've got to trade AD, but with LeBron getting older, at some point LeBron's going to fall off a cliff. Like, I don't want to use the Max Kellerman analogy and all, but at some point, Father Time
Father
is going to
Time's
catch up.
undefeated.
It has to catch up at some point, and it's already catching up. LeBron is already arguably the best player in the NBA. He's no longer definitely the best player in the NBA anymore. So, would they trade LeBron James, especially with LeBron now saying that he's going to go play with his son, no matter what? Like, he's going to do his last hoorah with. Like, would the Lakers do it right now? If it was me and they're the Lakers, like, they're not going to struggle without LeBron James because they're already the LA Lakers as far as popularity in the market. Why not? Why not go ahead and try it? Like, at this point, just do it. You already close enough to being in the lottery this year.
True. All right, man. Let's see what last time I said. Reggie said, yes, I believe LeBron will rev up the engine and enter his king mode. He will shake things up in the locker room and get the boys ready. Last for our sake, we hope not, because we play them coming up here in a few days. So hopefully that ain't the case.
Y'all giving them too much credit. That ain't gonna happen. I
Daryl,
know.
what's good, man? He said I could see y'all going 5-0. Lakers will put up a fight. Only way I see the Lakers pulling the game off is if you have a monster game for Bron and a surprise game from Malik Monk. Yeah, yeah.
bro.
Um, no,
Bro,
good.
let me say this: the Mavs are gonna blow out the Lakers. That's my hot
You've been
prediction
saying
right
that for a
now.
while, man.
That's my hot prediction right now to tell y'all this Laker team not good. Like, I know everybody keeps trying to make it. I don't care if LeBron has been scoring 30 points like out of his mind, and the Lakers still be
Yeah,
getting
the
killed.
29.1.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It doesn't matter. LeBron can go into king mode. LeBron's not out there playing defense, so who he gonna shut down? LeBron, like the rest of the squad, can't shoot threes. The Mavericks are great at stopping three. They don't have Anthony Davis to just destroy the paint. LeBron isn't just a paint machine anymore. So, I mean, Dwight Howard going to destroy us? He don't have that type of game. Uh, DeAndre Jordan, like who's gonna
Oh
destroy
God.
us? I don't understand who. The Mavericks should like it should be not even be close. I think the Lakers last time it got close because we didn't have Braun. I mean, not Braun. We didn't have Luca, and
Yeah, yeah.
they had,
Remember they barely beat us with that
yeah,
game.
and they had their full three, and they shouldn't have beat us that game. Like, nah, this game they won't have AD. Russell Westbrook doesn't know they don't know what they want to do with Russell Westbrook. LeBron James is taught like they're about to go into turmoil. I think the Lakers are. They're already in turmoil, and they're about to go into even more. LeBron is calling out his management and all. Like, after he made choices for a player to come to a team, and now he's calling out his management and saying that he's going to possibly leave the team. You don't. What player does that? Like, he's saying, "I'm going to leave the Lakers." He literally said yesterday, "I'm going to leave the Lakers." So,
Wherever
I,
Bronny go.
yeah, I think y'all giving it too much credit. This is not a good basketball team right now. That an organization is going through problems. We should beat them. That's basically what I'm saying. They're now a bad team. We should beat them.
All right, man. Let's get to the rest of these.
Mhm.
Law says, I know it won't happen. Put Devin Booker with Luca. It almost happened, man. If Phoenix had drafted Luca first in the
Yeah,
draft, it would have been Devin Booker and Luca. That would have been nasty.
they would have had a dynasty.
That would have been nasty. Fun fact. What you got, Lives? What you got? He said out of every 5-man lineup with a minimum of
Ooh,
250 possessions played, the lineup of Luca, Jalen, Reggie, Dorian, and Dwight Powell has a
offensive
ORT
rating.
of 30. Yeah. I saw that today. Yeah.
Jeez, man. I told you they don't need Luca doesn't need another guy. He just needs the team so the issue is we didn't play defense
Oh,
before.
I wouldn't say you don't need another guy.
No.
I still say
I know you don't want to say it, bro, but just hear me out. Last year, we were able to score points. 2 years ago, we were able to score points. We had the highest offensive rating of all time, right?
mm-hmm.
We've always been able to score points. We've been scoring guys. We've been since Luca's been in the NBA. The issue's been we can't stop anybody. So like when we play Kawhi Leonard and Paul George, they go off with us. Like we gotta hope one of them doesn't have any type of game at all because Luka has to play against two All-Pro guys.
And instead of
We
doing that, just get another guy. That way you make it even. That way Luka don't have to go out there and play supernova and kill himself and
you're right.
Have to play it to the point that he's tired in every fourth quarter.
You're right. Or
see Kawhi and then one tired. Why? I got this other guy next to me that can do the exact same thing. He can carry it where I can kind of rest a little bit, then I'll carry it and he can rest a little bit, and then he both hitting us in the fourth quarter.
Or you
this
get
guy here who was clowning for 3 quarters, and in fourth quarter I can't score a bucket because I'm tired.
Or you get a team that plays awesome defense that doesn't need that guy. Or you get a team that, like the most of the time superstars have, when they're individual superstars that win championships with a defensive team around them. That's how you win a championship with an individual superstar. Dirk Nowitzki back in 2011, 2011.
You said Dirk. That's a perfect. There's a reason why there's only been a handful of teams, or probably less than 5 teams in the last like 30 years who had one superstar that carried a team. That's why you have multiple teams.
You're right.
Have multiple superstars winning championship. It's a whole lot harder. And guess what happened to Dirk that next year after carrying that team as a solo superstar?
They blew the team up.
He got hurt that next year. Remember that? That was the year of the beard and all that stuff.
Dirk was 33 though.
Because you have that one guy having to carry that load by himself compared to you having somebody else who can help you carry the load, and it makes it easier for you to win that championship.
It does make it easy, but Dirk was 33. That's a different beast as far as being 33 and being hurt and giving it your all. He still had a defensive team behind him, even last year with the Giannis thing. Even though Chris Middleton, I told you, going to be a Hall of Famer now, he had a whole bunch of defenders around him and guys that can shoot the ball. Like, you don't need. So Scottie
Pippen, one of those guys, I can name you 10 other champions.
You're right. I'm not saying you're wrong. What I'm saying to you is that I think you're underappreciating Luka Doncic. Like,
no, I'm not. Bro, I'm not unappreciating the guy. I appreciate him so much that I wish he had one more guy to help carry that. Because I watched the playoffs last year when this guy was scoring 30 points in the first half, and they were barely in games because he was scoring 30 points by himself. And you had these 2 superstars over here where, like I said, both of them are not tired because guess what? I can carry you for 2 quarters. You carry me for 2 quarters, and y'all both hitting us in the fourth quarter compared to this one guy who was balling for 3 quarters and is out of gas in the fourth quarter because he doesn't have another guy to help just carry the load for him. So, yes, I want one more guy. What I've been saying, this team is good. Just imagine how good that next level they can take it to have that one guy. I'm not saying go out here and have a super team. I'm saying, hey, if you throw like a little Zach LaVine in there or something like that, or a Donovan Mitchell or something like that, that one guy that can just help Luka kind of carry the pressure a little bit to where he don't have to go out there and do everything when it counts, to where it's not burning him out in the fourth quarter, then yes, I want that. But no, I'm not undervaluing Luka at all. I just want to see Luka have just a little bit of help to where he doesn't have to do all that.
I think he does have some help, 1. But 2, do you think this team beats the Clippers last year?
So, but this team?
This Maverick team right here?
I have no idea.
You know what? Now, I know you. So from what you've seen so far, so I know in the playoffs we can choke and we can do all that. But right now, from what you're saying in this team, if we put them in the spot of the other Maverick team from last year, do they beat the Clippers?
It would depend on what Spencer Dinwiddie looks like.
Okay.
Because I'm banking everything on Spencer Dinwiddie.
So not even
thinking like, oh, he didn't do nothing with Washington last year.
You think Kawhi and them would?
I really
Kawhi and Paul George would average as much as they did?
Oh, say it again.
You think Kawhi and Paul George would average as much as they did as far as points?
I don't think Paul George would.
All right. That's what I was going to as well. I don't think Paul George would. So if Paul George is not going to do that because you're playing defense, do you think Luka's not going to play at the same Luka level?
Oh, no. I told you before. Luka, you put you over here. You don't count.
So
I'm talking about everybody else. Luka's going to do what he do.
It's
the others that we're talking about. Like, yeah, like I said, they look good right now. But what are you going to do in the playoffs? We've seen the same song and dance for the last 2 years Luka's been here.
It's only been 2 years.
That's what I'm talking about.
It's only been 2 years. Y'all keep combining him with the Dirk, like the Dirk regime. It's only been 2 years out of his first 3 years. And they lost against the Clippers.
Those guys that you've been bragging about all year did not show up when it counted. So that's why I'm saying I can't sit here and say what this team beat the Clippers, because I've seen this team before in the regular season do good.
And that was their first 2 years, right?
5th, 6th in the West.
But that was their first 2 years.
You're carrying the team. But when it counts, What did you do in the playoff? Tim Hardaway was the hottest guy in the season of the year. So at the end of the year, got that massive contract because he was just so hot.
Yeah,
Was
that's
the
that's
playoffs.
that's that's Tim.
KP,
I got
supposed
you.
to be this guy.
I
What did
got
you
you.
do in the playoffs?
That's
Jalen Brunson,
that's.
you hurt one year, next year you just didn't show up.
I got you.
I need to see it in playoffs.
Was that not their first
I
two
don't know what
playoffs?
I don't know what the team would do against the Clippers.
Was that not their first two playoff series? Was it anybody other than Tim Hardaway have any playoff experience? Anybody on the team?
No.
Nobody. So that's what I'm saying. This is not the same 10-year stretch of Dirk and them not making the playoffs or not being able to the first round.
Playing the same team, gaining experience in that second year should help your team. Because it's not like you just went in here cold turkey.
It would have. It would have. We went
before. You played the exact same team,
and we went 7 with a better team. We went 7 against their better team.
You went 7 because right. Luka went nuclear.
And you're right.
We talking about Luka putting up numbers that nobody in NBA history has ever done.
You're right, but they still went 7 as a team against a team that was better than their previous year. And that's what I'm saying. Last year they went 7. They went 6 the year before with Seth Curry and all that.
But they did last year, right?
They went
7, burning Luka out. Luka completely got dominated in Game 7 because he put his whole entire body, soul, spirit, whatever
in
that series.
Rudy and Donovan couldn't do it. Rudy Gobert and Donovan Mitchell couldn't do it.
Hold on, now according to you, Utah's not good though.
I already told you that, but they still get to the playoffs.
That's what I'm saying. So they shouldn't matter. We talking about for Luka. This dude literally had to go. He had to try to outperform 2 superstars by himself. We're banking on him going supernova every series.
Because the Clippers were better than the Mavericks. The Clippers were better. That's what I'm saying. The Clippers were better than the Mavericks last year.
That's my argument is. You add this team, give them one guy. All I'm asking for is one guy.
They were one game away. They were, bro. I got you, and I'm not saying that we shouldn't. I would take the one guy.
No, and I agree with you. They were one game away.
They were one game away with 2 All-Pro guys playing against Luka Doncic. They were one game away.
No, I'm not. Look, that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying, King. I'm not arguing with you with that.
Look
how they got to that one game. They didn't get to that one game because the whole entire team was just balling. They got there because of that one guy. Now,
take
that one guy, give them one more guy. You won the series.
Do you think they'd have made it to the Western Conference Finals if they'd have won the first series?
With who they play? Who was after that?
Utah was next. Do you think they made the Western Conference Finals?
No, man.
I do. That's what I'm saying.
We
had the
worst.
There's a reason that the Clippers could have been the 2nd or the 3rd seed and fell down to the 4th seed, and they wanted to play the Mavericks because of the matchup. If we would not have played the Clippers, it would have been a different matchup and different things would have happened. We keep undervaluing that we played the Los Angeles Clippers, a team put together to win championships. They're failing so far because their 4-year plan is about to fail. This is a team put together not to make the playoffs, to win championships. They were with 2 All-Pro guys put together, 2 All-Pro wings. Last year was their best chance, I feel like, to win a championship, and they failed because
I think, probably was.
Kawhi ended up getting hurt.
Probably was.
Maybe. They should have won both. That's the thing about it. They could have won both championships. That's what I'm saying to you. The first year was the whole mental thing, and I give a pass for that. I understand things were going on if you didn't want to play.
Hey, you had a choice not to come to the bubble, though.
They did, but
I don't use that excuse. You had a choice. You had people who actually stayed back.
They said they didn't want to, though. And then when LeBron and them made it where it was like, all right, we got to do this for the fans, they felt like, peer pressure is a thing as well. So I understand they didn't have to come and all. So let's just scratch that out, though. I'm saying even if you throw that as an asterisk championship and you say that year was a weird year. Last year, the Clippers, I feel like, were a championship level team. And if they would have had Kawhi in it, I feel like they would have won the championship. That's my personal opinion. I think they could have beaten Phoenix, and I think they could have beaten Milwaukee. That's just how I feel, and I think they were that good of a team, and we took them 7. We were like their hardest competition. The reason that Phoenix took them 6 is because, Phoenix shouldn't have took them 6. If Phoenix was that good with just Paul George, like Paul George was out there looking like the MVP of the playoffs before he left out of the playoffs last year. So I think
that was Paul George's best stretch of basketball.
And we lost to them in 7. Paul George had his best string of basketball, with Kawhi Leonard having his best string of possibly basketball again until he got hurt, and we still lost in 7. This team is not that bad. It's continuity which they're going for. That's why it's the same players now being able to do the same thing. It's like the Golden State effect and all. The issue with us as Maverick fans, I feel like we attach one regime as far as Luka because it came right behind Dirk's with Dirk. Luka is only a fourth-year player. He's in his third time in the playoffs now. That's fine. Like Mike LeBron made it past the first round every year until last year, whatever. That doesn't usually happen. You got guys like Giannis that lose in the first round. You got guys like Michael Jordan that lose in the first round, and we played the toughest possible matchup, I think, of all time, basically that we could have had
Why are you
last year.
cussing, bro? Why are you cussing?
Well,
Watch your
I'm
language,
just
baby.
keeping it real with you. Like players lose in the first round, and it's okay.
He's still the greatest.
22. Yeah, absolutely. But we got a guy that's 22. That's in his fourth year and his third time around. You got JB. There's been guys. James Harden failed in his first playoff run or whatever. The year they made it to the finals, he was trash in the finals or whatever like that. We didn't think this guy would become who he is right now. Like I'm not, it has not been long enough yet where I'm done with these guys. Now, there are certain times I'm like, yeah, the Mavericks had a chance to get someone better than what they have. But there are a lot of guys on this team who overachieve, man. Like there are a lot of hard workers on this Maverick team. They're really like what blue collar or whatever, as far as out there and being hard workers and all. Dorian Finney-Smith, we talked about his contract. Huge, nice contract. This guy shouldn't have been making that much money if you saw him coming to the league. You got Maxi Kleber. These guys are growing with Luka Doncic. Luka is making them the best version of themselves they could possibly be. And I think that centerpiece, it's just Luka just needs the perfect role players around him. I think that's how his system is right now. He just needs people to do their job. Think about it like Bill Belichick. Go out there and do your job. That's an NFL reference for y'all. If guys do their job,
You
the
would
Mavericks
say that because
win.
you up north, bro.
The Mavs usually, when they do their job, the Mavericks usually win, right? When we're out there and guys making wide open threes and all, it looks easy. We're out there looking like, man, this is easy money. They're making these shots and all. When they're not, then we're not. Yeah, Zach LaVine will look awesome and all on this team, but to be able to get the best
Zach LaVine.
possible,
Somebody like that. You got to. You don't necessarily need
team.
no super duper Kawhi Leonard or nobody like that. You give somebody like a Zach. Where would you put Zach LaVine's level at? Would you say he's a superstar or all star?
I don't even think he needs Zach LaVine. He's an all-star right now. My thing is if he wants to be a superstar, watch out for it this summer as far as him being possibly going to another team still, because I still don't think it's a guarantee he stays in Chicago. But I don't think he needs that type of level. I think Luka needs so if Spencer Dinwiddie never went through the injuries and Spencer Dinwiddie was still like he was leaving Brooklyn right now and coming straight to the Mavs.
I think he still would have left Brooklyn.
I'm saying, but if he'd have left Brooklyn right now and came straight to the Mavs without an injury, that level of player that he was his last year in Brooklyn would be enough for Luka to have a championship level partner. I feel like that Spencer Dinwiddie before he left and had the injuries and all that level of taking Brooklyn to the playoffs by himself basically is a guy enough beside Luka to actually help him in a playoff series and just in general. I don't even think he needs a Zach LaVine type level. I think that's past what he needs. Now it'll be awesome to get it. I'm not saying I'd take him. But that's why guys are talking about like CJ McCollum. That's why guys talked about Kemba Walker, because they just need guys and go get you a bucket. And I don't think I didn't want those guys. I don't want Kemba. I told you that. But back then, Spencer Dinwiddie was a bucket getter. That's all Spencer Dinwiddie's job would have been, is just to get buckets. He didn't need to do anything because Luka controls the ball so much. Just go get buckets, Spencer. That would have been your role. And I think a guy like that would have been perfectly fine with Luka.
All right, man. Let's go ahead and run through the rest of these. Queen said the video cut out. Did we cut out?
I don't know because people are still answering. I don't know, babe. Let me know. I didn't see her. She I don't know. I think she let me know. People still talking, so I'm guessing.
Anybody else knows we cut out? Let us know. Yo, King, I wish I could be positive as you, but every time I go all in with our chances, I end up hurt. That's what I've been saying. That's why I say I play it game by game.
Bro, when you go all in,
so many times, I gotta
how
see
y'all
it.
Go all in? How y'all go all in with this team? They only been in the playoffs 2 times. How y'all hurt and go all? What the first year we made it to the playoffs, was y'all expecting the championship?
Yes.
Okay. That's why. That's why y'all hurt every year, man. Y'all won a championship with Luka first year and all. Like, yeah, I'd like to make past the first round.
Oh man, you know what? Let me. I'll say one thing though. Like, I think you had said something about how much, we talking about giving him like it was like a 5-year window or whatever.
Yeah,
People gotta understand, like when we had Dennis Smith, we were still kind of like how Phoenix was a couple years ago, where you just continue to keep adding draft picks and hope you can finally build something to be relevant, pretty much. But when you get a player like Luca, these are generational players. When you get players like this, your timetable moves up dramatically. So
absolutely.
you go from, okay, we're gonna get this like a 5-year, see what we can do in 5 years, to, you know what, gotta get somebody in here right now, get him a second star or whatever the case is right now. And so yeah, man, like I said, Luca is definitely a generational player, man, and which is why I was saying I want to see Luca get somebody in here with them. Like we talked about Dirk getting Paul Pierce, somebody like that. That would have made Dirk's game a whole lot easier. I want to get somebody in here that can make Luca's game a whole lot easier. Luca can still do what he's doing, but you had that other guy, like I said, look, I keep using this example. Look at Chicago. You had Zach LaVine was putting up good numbers, but you know what I'm saying. But now that you got another guy, that makes Zach LaVine's game a whole lot easier. And also with this guy and DeMar DeRozan, you had those two guys that can kind of help each other out to where it makes it a little lot easier. That's not taking away from Zach LaVine. That's not taking away from Luca. That's just giving those understanding what you have in that way that you could just add that piece that can help elevate this guy a little bit more to help him to not only do what he's doing, but just to give him that extra step to where he doesn't have to burn himself out or kill himself to try to go out there and get a championship.
And Dallas this year is arguably better than Chicago, right?
Healthy?
I mean, at some point, you're saying healthy. The Mavericks ain't been healthy. I'm just saying, at some point, everybody keep playing
So compare
these games of
right now.
narrative.
You would say Dallas is playing at their best right now, right?
I guess they're playing at their best.
So
Chicago
Chicago
wasn't.
at their best, they were healthy.
Is when we beat them, right?
You're matching them at their best when they were healthy to us right now being healthy at our best.
And we beat them at their best, right? When they were going through their best winning streak of the year, right?
Now, what wasn't naming them out?
And somebody might have been out, but it was their. If we talking about best, that was their best winning streak of the year, right?
But that's what I'm saying. When somebody out, we played them that game.
Yeah. I'm saying somebody's out, but I'm saying even when they played with their roster together, they didn't have a winning streak as good as they had when we played them, right? They had their best winning streak of the year when we played them. They were going for 10 wins or whatever like that, and we ended up knocking them off. Mm-hmm. That's all I'm saying. At some point, y'all have to, like, we don't have Tim Hardaway Jr., okay? Like, we didn't have Kristaps Porzingis. Nobody used that as the crying tool for the Mavs.
Them names don't count. You better mention
Mavs,
Spencer Davis Bertans or something.
The Mavs can possibly win 50 games this year. That's up from last year again. Like, so we talking about Chicago, and DeMar DeRozan's going to Chicago, and the Mavs could end up with the same record as them, maybe even better. That's all I'm saying. Like, everybody keeps knocking this Mav team, and I'm like, but what is any other team doing that's like, oh my, wow. Like, Phoenix was hot, and they were way out of the way, but everybody else the Mavs are right there with everyone else. So if the Mavericks are not the full squad and they were missing their pieces and all of this, then how'd they get to be at that level?
Because you got a player that's playing at an MVP level.
All right, then. So Luka took his ascension as well. So everybody keeps taking ascension every year. That's the whole mindset of the management that's going on. Everybody keeps taking steps every year. And with the same team, you understand the system more and more every year, and then it starts to click. And it's starting to click for this team. This team, there's no way you can't say this is not a good team. Would you say that?
No,
I didn't. Mavericks aren't a good team?
Listen, I keep telling you. They're a good team. My thing is the playoffs. That's what I'm waiting on. Like, yeah. I'm the regular season, that's cool. I'm with it. I'm on that wave. I'm all there for it. I will not sleep easily until, like you just heard Lai say, I'm with them. I've been saying this all year. I can't sleep easily until I see it in the playoffs. Because right now we're expecting them to get out the first round.
Yes.
And so that's what I want to see first. Now, if they get past the first round, they look good, then I'm with you. I'm all in I'm all in with you. I'm Mr. Positive, Mr. Optimistic, whatever. But like I said, regular season, I've seen this type of thing in Song and Dancer before. I need to see it in the playoffs. Because like you said, this team is looking awesome. The defense, right now, they're number 1 and 3 since I can't remember the date.
Yes, January 1st. January 1st.
No. It was December? February 1st.
It was February? I thought it was January.
I think it was February 1st. They shoot like 40%. They shoot over 40%.
Okay. I thought it was since the beginning of the year they've been the number 1 3-point shooting team.
But I forgot my point was. But yeah, like I said, I've seen it before, man. Like I said, I'm waiting on the playoffs.
It's the
Now, like I
third
said,
year.
if I could see this exact same type of play, like I said, dudes hitting clutch shots, teams shooting 40%. We are, like I said, not worried about Luca. We already know what Luca gonna do. If everybody else can do exactly what they're doing right now in the playoff, then you got me sold. I'm cool.
It's
I'm like I said, I'm glass half full guy over here.
it's a pattern after 2 years. So let's go back to the first year. I know we get on long on this topic. The first year, KP gets hurt, right? Did you not think they had a chance to win the series that year?
I did with KP.
All right, so he got hurt. Like that had nothing to do with the rest of the team, and all the other players were playing their role. KP, we didn't have our second guy. That was the way the system was, right? We lost them at that point. Okay. Last year, KP didn't play a role at all, and we went 7 games. That means the other role players may not have done much, but they had to step up something because KP didn't give you anything at all. So we went 7 games last year. I told you Tim Hardaway put up 18 a game or whatever, 17 it was. And you're like, no way. And I'm like, yeah, he did. But it is what it is.
Was that an impactful 17?
In some games it was. The games where they were good, yeah, it was impactful. The 2 games probably it was impactful.
Yeah, the 2 games, yeah.
Yeah. So it's just this is another year. JB didn't perform last year. That was his first playoff run. Let it marinate. It's only been 2
No, that's what I'm
years.
saying. That's why I said I'm
just saying, don't call it a bad team. Don't say that they
no, I
already
didn't say it was a
have
bad team. I'm just saying
let this team
I can't
let them get
be
another
on board
chance.
yet. I can't be like we gonna have a parade down the Whiskey Way. I can't say that yet until we get to the playoffs. And like I said, if you can carry this game over into the playoffs, then you got me. I will admit, you know what, this team is it. They got it. Like what do you be saying? 2011, this is it.
Yeah,
but like I said, I have to see the playoffs first. I need to see you translate Tim Hardaway, those 3 that you hit in the regular season. I gotta see that in the regular season. Maxey, those 3 you hit in the regular season, I need to see that in the playoffs. Jalen Brunson, this little 25-5 you give me, I need to see that in the playoffs. Like and so forth. Hey, Mr. Sniper, you're hitting 40% from 3 this year. I need to see that in the playoffs. So if I see all those what we're talking about right now in the playoffs, I'm all in there. I sell the farm. You got me. I'm all in.
We waiting for the playoffs now. Let's do it.
I'm waiting in the playoff. We got about a month and a half.
Yeah,
they got all we at the end of this month. You got
this
all of March.
Yeah, this 5-game stretch really going to prove it. This 5-game stretch going to define where the Mavericks are and what we going into the postseason as probably. I think this 5-game stretch will.
I really hope you're right. I really do. All right, man. Daryl says, without a second guy, does the Mavs beat the Bucks in 7-game series in the finals? King? Wait, hold on. Talk about this year?
This year right now, I wouldn't choose the Mavs as the favorite. If I had to pick, I'd go Mavericks and I'd go Bucks in 6 because of the experience and just knowing what Giannis and his squad and all of what he has. But
so if you had this team right now, would say, like I know we keep throwing his name out, say Zach LaVine, would they win that series?
I'd choose them. Yes,
I would too. Like I said, my confidence is if you just get just one more guy.
But that's also
I'm picking us all day, every day, twice on Sunday.
That's also because of what you said, Real. As far as the playoff, I'm going based off of. So you have to throw in the playoffs, past experience and all of that stuff. So as we said, the Mavericks have lost.
Do you know what that would do? You wouldn't have to rely on Maxey to be that guy. He can start playing the actual role he's meant for when you have that guy that slides everybody down to their natural positions in the pecking order.
But we got that.
So where you have to count on those guys when
we got that this year. We got it this year. We have that this year. That's what I'm saying. We have that this year. So the emergence is
But I feel like you still have to count on those guys a little bit more when it counts in the playoffs because you don't have a guy to slide them down in their natural pecking order.
Let me ask you this:
these guys having to be a little bit more than what they are. But what they should be.
Let me ask you this: if Jalen Brunson puts up 22 points a game in the playoffs, would you be saying the same thing?
No, he's a number 2 option.
I got you. So then number 3, we're gonna have Tim Hardaway or Reggie Bullock.
He does that same thing. If you had a Zach LaVine, that would slide him down one.
But
guess what?
I got you.
22, that's a icing on the cake right there.
It's 22 fine though. Do you need what I'm saying to you is if Jalen Brunson gave you 22 a game in the playoffs, do you need a number 2 guy, or is he the piece for the team already? Would you be like,
talking about for this year?
Number 2. I'm saying just in general. If in the playoffs he gave you 22, would you be like, let's trade him, or is he okay to stay on the team being a number 2 option?
Nah, it depends on the situation.
Wow. I don't know. It's no way to please. I just said he give you 20.
Wait, hold on. You were just talking about trading for DeAndre.
I said trading for DeAndre Ayton because that's a hole. That's a hole.
That's part of the situation I'm talking about. Like,
but
I'm not
Zach
saying
LaVine wouldn't be the hole
we
anymore.
both love Jalen, but you telling me we have an opportunity to get somebody who can elevate you a little bit more for Jalen? Wow. You wouldn't do that trade?
But if JB gave you 20, so the thing is, you saying elevate you a little more as far as JB's doing 16 a game in the regular season right now. So his numbers still look like 17 a game, whatever. You're like, okay, that's fine. If JB in the playoffs give you 22 a game, why are we looking for someone else? Why do we need to find someone else to play that role if he's playing that role? He's giving you 22. So
you're telling me, let's just say, I keep throwing this guy's name out. If you're telling me that Zach LaVine is available, yes, you wouldn't go for that with Jalen Brunson.
Not why? If Jalen Brunson,
you wouldn't trade for perennial all-star for
Jalen Brunson's making $20 million a year, and Zach LaVine means I got to break up my team even more. Why would I get rid of Jalen Brunson? Jalen Brunson give me almost what Zach LaVine.
But you're a perennial all-star to team up with Luka, though.
If Jalen Brunson is giving me,
make that move?
Hold on. How many times has Zach LaVine been in the playoffs?
But you add him to this team, you're going to the playoffs.
Hold on. How many times has Zach LaVine been to the playoffs?
Okay, then if you put Jalen on the Bulls and take Zach LaVine off, don't add anybody on that team. Don't add DeMar DeRozan. Do they go to the playoffs?
Different roles. JB a point guard, Zach LaVine a two guard. That's different roles. You got Lonzo Ball.
No. Hold on. We're talking about them as a player. If you take Zach LaVine off that team, don't add DeMar DeRozan. Don't add don't add any of those guys. They're still for your argument, he should have went to the playoffs, right?
They're still
if you take him off that team and you put Jalen in his place, does Jalen go to the playoffs?
Chicago's still a playoff team. Yes, they are.
With Jalen Brunson instead of Zach LaVine.
You think Chicago? You just said all them pieces, and you said they missing and all. You said
no. But that's what I'm saying.
Caruso.
So you're talking about Zach LaVine, why he didn't go to the playoffs, right?
This is Caruso.
We're talking about the team before because he's going to playoffs this year, so this don't count, right?
No, not last year.
Hold on. So you're taking those new additions off that didn't help get you to the playoffs last year. So that means the team from last year, the year before that, right? With Zach LaVine didn't make the playoffs. So if you keep that same team from those previous years without Zach LaVine and you put Jalen Brunson in there, they're a playoff team?
They still don't make the playoffs, which proves my point.
Okay, that's what I'm saying.
What I'm saying is that proves my point. So why are we giving up JB then for Zach LaVine?
If he's a perennial all-star.
Okay, this is an all-star. You talk about the all-star not meaning anything as far as the position. He's like the bottom.
No, I didn't say that. No. See,
he's like the bottom.
I didn't say the all-star wasn't important. I said the game wasn't important. You definitely want that on your resume as an all-star, but you don't. The game doesn't mean anything. What is that game going to do? They're going to elevate you to being a champion? No.
Is Zach LaVine not one of probably the last all-star picks as far as when they pick an all-star?
But he's an all-star though.
You're right.
Jalen been in league 4 years. He ain't even touched the word close to an all-star.
You're right. Zach LaVine been in the league how many years now? Like 6, 7? He's been a two-time all-star.
He's been a two-time.
He's been a two-time all-star in 7 years. Jalen Brunson been in the league.
How many times has Jalen been?
Jalen Brunson been in the league 4 years yet. He ain't even been at the point yet.
But he's not even anywhere close to being an all-star. Matter of fact, he's getting
Zach LaVine before he went to Chicago was nowhere close to being an all-star yet.
But he's an all-star though. That's what I'm saying though.
Once he hit Chicago, he became an all-star last year on the losing team, and then became an all-star again this year. Last year, before then, he never made the playoffs. He made his breakout year last year when he finally got with Chicago. Before then, he was an up-and-coming star with Minnesota. Mm-hmm. Then he finally got his breakout chance to be a guy on the team.
In Minnesota, he was hurt.
He got hurt, but he got hurt 1 year with the ACL. But before then, he was still playing. He was number 3 option behind Cat and Andrew Wiggins when he won the dunk contest and all. So what I'm saying to you is, if Jalen Brunson gives me 22, so you're saying Zach LaVine comes over here. What you expecting from Zach LaVine? 25?
Probably
right?
25.
25. Okay. So for the 3
that's what he's getting you right now playing with DeMar DeRozan.
So as I said, if JB gives me 22 in the playoffs and you want 25 from Zach LaVine for those 3 points a game, you're telling me I should go get a $35 to $40 million player instead of a $20 million player that could do 3 points less than me than what the other guy did. And that's going to make that much of a difference where I can't build around that. So JB is a better playmaker than Zach LaVine. Zach LaVine, not the greatest defender at all. JB gives more effort on defense than Zach LaVine does. Like, we're talking about more of the roles. Like, I think we're just adding numbers of player to player and thinking, well, this guy does 25 points a game and this guy does 16 points a game. So you switch them, then no, it doesn't matter. That's like saying Lonzo Ball. Lonzo Ball does more than his numbers just meant.
Let me ask you a question, though. Let me ask you a question. With this team, the way it's constructed right now, who would you trust more carrying the offense, out of Zach LaVine and Jalen Brunson on this team right now if Luka was sitting on
So,
the bench.
so I'm agreeing with you. I'm trusting Zach LaVine right now. That's why I asked you the
And
question.
that's what I'm talking
If,
about.
but that's why I asked the question. If in the playoffs, you said the playoffs, JB gives you 22 a game. That's why I said, if you see it in the playoffs and he's giving you 22 a game, why are we getting rid of him?
And I said it depends on the circumstance. If you telling me I can get an all-star back in return, if I can get DeAndre Ayton, you wouldn't want. You were just saying you would trade him for DeAndre Ayton. So you
I
telling
would.
me with
I would
22 points and all that, you still
not
wouldn't trade him for DeAndre
if he
Ayton?
puts up 22 in the playoffs though. Nope.
You
Nope.
wouldn't trade him for DeAndre Ayton, even though
I
that's
wouldn't.
probably the biggest glaring hole in
I
your team.
wouldn't trade him for the play because then I know what JB
I'm
going to be
sorry,
like.
bro.
So the thing is that
I love
you
Jalen
want
Brunson, bro, but
he
I will
ain't
never
even
pack your bags. We talking about giving me either an
he didn't
all-star,
reach
bro, or a star
he
center,
hasn't
bro.
reached his peak.
I'll
That
take.
means he's an all-star. That means he's going to be an all-star. If JB
But
puts up 22 in the
remember,
playoffs,
you also
he's
said
going to
too.
be an all-star.
That's why they got Spencer
They
Dinwiddie.
got Dinwiddie in case they can't keep Jalen Brunson because they want to keep
There you
Jalen Brunson.
go.
They don't want to pay the
So
money
if you
for him.
out the door, I got Spencer Dinwiddie. We good.
But okay, all right. So Spencer Dinwiddie put up what? He gave us 12 points in 2 games so far. So we got to still hope. We got to still hope that Spencer Dinwiddie still give us 20 points a game. JB, as I said, giving us 20 right now, basically as a starter with 18. And if he comes in, in the playoffs and give us 22 a game, we're going to try to. That means his position is filled. That's all I'm saying. If he gives us 22 a game, we don't need that guy. The money needs to go somewhere else, so we need to try to find something else at a different position. Why are we getting rid of JB for Zach LaVine, who may put us a step over the top as far as the next level? He's not going to. If we have Zach LaVine right now, we still got the glaring holes we still had. The same glaring holes that we still had, which is the middle of the defense right now. If we got JB putting up 22 points a game, that means that the playmaking, the second scoring option, we've answered all those questions for $20 million a year. And we're going to go get rid of him for a $35 million a year guy when we can go get a center or something like that. I just feel like it would make no sense to trade him for the same piece if he's doing his job. Why? Like, that's all I'm saying, bro. Like, why would you trade him?
No. I understand. Because you can say that 15 or whatever it is.
Yeah,
he's gonna probably come in about 35.
That's what I'm saying. Zach making 35, and he's an all-star, perennial all-star, like you said. So he's gonna demand a max contract on his next contract.
So that 15, you can go get you a Time Lord or somebody.
Exactly. When you already got a JB who's doing 22 points a game in the playoffs, he's good enough. That means he's coming through. That's all I'm saying. Like, I'd rather have.
Or use that money to get Jokic.
Zach is better than JB. If that's the answer you're looking for, Zach LaVine is better than Jalen Brunson.
No, but I see what you're saying though. You saying like if he's gonna do what we want the guy to do,
why are you getting rid of him for the
pay that 20 and then use the rest of that money that you would have got for Zach LaVine for another piece that you need without having to give up.
Yes, there you go.
What Johnny B said. So who would be the realistic perfect guy? Like I said, right now, Johnny, gotta have to be a center. If you want to be realistic, you need a center. You need a center.
Yeah.
Like I said, we had the list. If you talking about Robert, I don't even know if he might be a restricted free agent.
Who, Robert Williams?
Yeah. He's the first round pick, so he might be restricted.
Yeah. You is what's name restricted too? Did they sign Mitchell Robinson on New York?
Oh, wait.
Is he restricted this year too? Would you trade JB for Mitchell Robinson? I guess it depends again about the playoffs, right? That's what I'm saying. We're talking right now because we haven't seen the playoffs.
With Mitchell Robinson, I feel like he's still a project though.
He is, but man, he good at things. Like he a project on offense. It's not a project.
Let's say these two guys are available. Let's say Robert Williams and Mitchell Robinson are available. Who do you go after? That's a hard one.
Probably Mitchell. I'm gonna go for Mitchell.
I would probably say Mitchell. He's longer.
I'm gonna go for Mitchell because I'm just filling the holes. Like, so I'm not trying to get greedy. I just want to feel what my eyes see the Mavericks need help with. They need help with defense and rebound and a guy.
And if you think about it, look at Mitchell Robinson's best seasons so far in the league. He had perimeter defenders. Yep. That was the best perimeter, one of the best. I mean, you probably argue they are the best perimeter defensive team in the league.
I think they are.
We've been saying, I think they are. We've been saying for the longest, if you just add a guy back there, Just add 8 guy back there, and you tell me you get in Mitchell Robinson. Now the question is how much he's gonna command on the open market. That's the thing. Like I said, I still feel. I'm not saying like he just. I ain't saying he Moses Brown or nothing, but I still feel like he's still a kind of a project a little bit.
He is on offense, but he's Moses was more of a project still all around.
All around, right?
Mitchell is a project on offense still, but his I trust his defense and rebounding like completely. For him to, for what we need on this team, Rich Robinson gonna start a break. That's all
Man,
I'm saying. Like
pick and roll be stupid.
I have no problem, but I don't know if I trade JB. So that's what I'm saying. We're talking all this smack right now because we haven't seen what JB do this year. As I said, let JB average 22 a game this year in the playoffs. Mavs fans, JB is now a Maverick for life if he does that. Like I'm saying, like we're not appreciating. If a guy give us 22 a game with Luca, that guy is a Maverick now for life. We're gonna want to keep him for life. Like he's fine. That's like why would you get rid of Jason Terry when Jason Terry does enough of what you need him to do? Do you understand? Like there are other guards that could have been in that position, but Jason Terry did enough of what you needed him to do. He filled his role. So why are we getting rid of him?
Man, shout out to Jet Terry,
man. The Jet.
Bro, I said I got to get another guy. When Luka is scoring 40 and 50 points and still winning by single digits, we are asking for trouble in the playoff. That's what I was saying, man. I just want to have that reassurance that superstar. Like I said, I go and I see other teams with these 2 stars, man. I get a little jealous. I see the Kawhis and the PGs of last year, and that PG him showing up last year that came out of nowhere. So that kind of just made me even more mad. It's like just showing that Luka is competing against 2 guys. It's like just have that one more guy, having that Scottie Pippen, having that you can name other 2 that Klay Thompson, that number 2 that you got necessarily be Luka, but just somebody that look, man, Luka can actually go get on the bench and rest the way he needs to rest, and know this guy can carry his offense or whatever while Luka's on the bench. That's all I want.
I would like another one because I agree, but as I said, I don't. So I think my disconnect is that I don't think Luka's going to have to just keep scoring 40 and 50 and we win by single digits. So that's where the disconnect becomes. Everybody, that was last year's team. That was the year before. I don't think Luka's going to have to score 40 and 50 and then we only win by single digits. That's what I don't think. I think we're a defensive team this year. So there are going to be times we're in the playoffs and we're going to blow people out and things like that. I think this is a different team and people aren't giving the role players enough. So another question, Spencer Dinwiddie. We just said we hoping somebody can hold down the fort while Luka's on the bench and all. We don't need Spencer to give us 20 a game. We said Spencer gonna give us 15 a game with JB giving us 20 or whatever like that, and then maybe Trey Burke or Frank or whatever. Some of the guys giving you points.
Get back to 20.
I don't think he is on this team. I don't
this
think
year.
I don't, especially not this year. No, but if
so
those guys
like made him primary second ball handler on
the bench, I think he can get to like over 15. I think 15 is fine with Spencer. If he's off the bench, 15 a game is okay. 15 is absolutely fine. If we get a 15 a game guy when Luka and JB are both not on the court, so he's still going to play with Luka and JB probably playing staggered minutes or whatever like that. So he's only going to have to score by himself when he's on the floor by himself, which probably won't be a bunch. So I still think if he does his role, other guys do their role, like we're fine. Like the issue is that we don't want our bench to get destroyed. If our bench wins games or doesn't get destroyed, then Luka is just a positive when he's on the court, so he's not winning by 1 or 2 points.
That's the reason why that trade was important because you, like I said, you add depth to the bench.
Yes, I believe in our bench.
And what's the boy named Bertans, and then of course we talk about Spencer Dinwiddie being that creator, that ball handler, all that stuff, man, at a near elite level. So yeah,
I've been saying this all year. The Mavericks are a deep team. I haven't been saying it for nothing. I truly believe the Mavericks are a deep team. So if I believe they're a deep team, like I don't think our bench is going to get destroyed in the playoffs. So if our bench is not like Luke is usually a plus 15, 10 at least on a plus minus or whatever, which means he's winning his minutes by 10 points or whatever. Okay, if our bench is even or up by any, then we're blowing people out. And I think our team is that deep. That's what I'm saying. I don't think we're giving enough respect to the team around Luka. They've changed the team around Luka and the concept. That's why it's going to be different. But we won't see into the playoffs. They'll be like, King, I agree with you. I'm like, I know.
Man, I ain't gonna lie. I kind of want to see Spencer with Tim Hardaway and Bertans. I want to see what that
bro. You don't have Tim Hardaway in the playoffs. Like y'all not trying to understand. And Tim Hardaway is. We can laugh about him and joke all that. He's not needed. Like think about it. So he's not needed.
Doing this without him. So he's sprinkling in a little 10 that he be doing.
On top, yes. That hot streak of 9 points in a row or something that's going to be sprinkled in on top. But we'll see when it happens.
Hopefully he get back a couple games before the playoffs so he can kind of work his way in. All right, Lai said, I feel we win the series against the Clippers with this roster. The problem with the last year was our unproductive bench. Yeah, but this year our bench is doing good. Like I said, that trade made me feel a whole lot better about the bench because I've always been asked for. Just I heard me say this a million times. Dallas, for as long as we've been a franchise, has always had a 6-man. Has always had a 6-man, and like you always have that guy that you can count on and give you consistent 15 to 20 points off the bench. No questions asked. And so now I feel like Spencer can be that guy, that 15 to 20 consistently off the bench. It's gonna take him a couple games. I think with this little break too, they can kind of get some practice time in and stuff like that, and kind of see how he would you know what I mean, just kind of work him in slowly. But I think he'll eventually get to that guy. It's like, okay, now you're getting hot. Yeah. So now kind of count on him to be that Jason Terry or that Antoine Jameson or whoever else you want to name, as far as being that 6-man. Remember, we got it for 2 years too, man. So he have a whole off season too. So
truthfully, 3 years, right? We got
if they don't trade
2 more. Yep.
Yeah. The Clippers team with Kawhi and PG comes back is gonna be way better this season than last year. I'm not sure the Mavs team would beat them this year with those two back. I don't think they come back this year though, Johnny.
I think they might come back. But either way, Johnny, this usually happens. Like teams usually get better when they're playing without their superstars because they're gelling. So the Clippers are playing like a better team right now, I feel like. But even if Kawhi Leonard and PG come back, they need those guys to be a top form to win a championship.
See, that's the thing too, King. Like you just said,
I don't think
can't expect the guys to come here and you're like, oh, I'm ready.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I don't think they're going to be a top form, which means it's going to be another wasted year. And usually at that point, then money and stuff like that happens with players and when you get to an off season. So I'm not really worried about the Clippers because I don't feel like they're going to have enough time to gel if they get their superstars back.
They said that Kawhi not coming back this year too. That's what Ty said.
If Kawhi doesn't come back at all, then
why point to bring it? I mean, I don't know.
They could be playing better and all that stuff without Kawhi Leonard. They're not winning the championship, and I think the Mavericks can beat them without Kawhi Leonard. So that I'd be mad. How about that one? If the Mavs played the Clippers and they didn't have Kawhi Leonard and we lost, I'd be very mad.
Man, listen. The Blazers just waived DSJ. Cuban need to bring him back, even if it's this off season. I would bring Dennis. We got one 2-way contract left. I'll bring him for that.
Yeah, I would too. Why not? Bring him.
I thought about that earlier. I was like, when would you bring him back for? And he said he wanted to come back. They said it again today. That recently again he said he would like to come back to the Mavericks.
Bro, I feel like Dennis Smith Jr. would give us one of those games too. You feel me, like a playoff game where it's like, oh, throw Dennis Smith Jr. in there. We didn't expect it, and he just comes out and just gives us one. I feel like he still has that in him. As far as like he had skill. Like I know a lot of people try to downgrade his play or what he was when he was in the league. Like we thought we might have had something that was a prospect that was pretty good when we had DSJ. Let's not act like it was. Let's not act like that. Like I was excited for Dennis Smith Jr. I'm not going to act like I wasn't. I was excited for the man. So I think we should bring him back. I think him playing with Luca, it's the Luca effect. I think high about the Luca effect, man.
And
who Dorian Finney-Smith, the Smith connection.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. My thing is, I just think the Luca connection, though, that whole thing of Luca making guys better, I really think he makes the guys the best they could be. And I think Dennis Smith Jr. playing right now because Rick Carlisle didn't want to play this little 2-guard thing that they have going on right now. I think this system right now would have been better for Dennis Smith Jr. to be playing in, like the way Jalen Brunson's playing with Luka right now. That would have worked, but it was just too far in advance. Dennis Smith didn't know this was going to happen, and neither did the Mavs. So when Rick Carlisle just shot his confidence. But I do think him coming back here playing with Luka would be like a second chance. He'd be able to show exercise those demons, I guess, as a point or whatever. I think he would do it, and I'd love to have him on the team as a 2-way guy.
I would too. Oh, dang, it was 2 hours. Lai said, of course, I was expecting the championship first year. My G, well, if you get emotionally attached, that's why we get doubtful. He said, but I'm getting those championship vibes coming soon. Yeah, like I said, man.
Yeah,
I
I told you.
hope when they get to the playoffs and they put their work in, man. I'm gonna be on there with King, man.
I'm telling y'all, I'm sticking behind it. If the Mavs
King,
lose to
listen.
any team not called the Phoenix
As a
Suns,
fan, I hope you're right. I really
even
do. I
Golden
really
State,
hope you're right.
I'll throw Golden State in there. If the Mavericks lose to any other team of the other 5 teams that's in the Western Conference, I'm mad.
Oh yeah.
Any of the other 5,
The three
I'm mad.
teams we have a chance to play against, they don't beat them any of them three.
Yep, I'm
I'm
mad.
mad.
I'm
I'm,
mad. If
I'm
the
mad.
top 2 seeds right now, the only teams that I may be like, all right, you know what? They may be better than us, and I can understand. Every other team we should beat. And that means I believe the Mavericks are a good team. Because last year, I don't think y'all have been saying for the playoffs, they would have beat the Memphis Grizzlies and all those teams. No. 2 years ago, y'all wouldn't have said that probably.
Memphis last year, yeah. Remember, Memphis
Well,
was like
yes, you're right. Memphis was the
what,
eighth
what,
seed.
what Memphis? No, Memphis was a playing team.
They were the eighth seed. Yeah, they got in there, the eighth seed. So, yes, Memphis, but I'm talking about the higher seed, everybody
Nah, I
else.
know
If
what
I'd have said everybody other than the Phoenix Suns, you'd be like, absolutely not. So that's what I'm saying. I really believe the Mavericks are a good team this year, and it's the year to show it. So if after this year, if the Mavericks fail again, they have to blow it up. Y'all going to get they have. You don't think they will? If the Mavericks lose in the first round again, they have
I
to
don't say blow it up, but just add that guy. That's all I'm saying. That's all you need to do. I mean, it's gonna be hard this year if you ain't got the money, but
when I say blow
find
it
a way
up,
with it.
they gonna have to. They gotta let. When I say blow it up, JB's gonna walk. They can't sign JB, or they're gonna sign and trade him. Right?
Oh,
They
okay,
got to
yeah.
get rid of Tim Hardaway's contract. When I say
Oh, you
blow it
gotta
up, I'm
go.
talking about the main guys. You got to get rid of everybody that has a contract on the team, basically, other than Luca. That has any type of money on their books. You got to get rid of them. That's what I'm saying. It's at that point when you get to you can't run this same team back again. You can't run it with Dwight Powell. You can't run it with anybody else, basically. You got to get rid of every major contract and just try to start it over again.
All right, man. It's almost the 2 hours, bro. Better get this.
That's fine, man. Come on, it's the show for the fans, man. Let's get it in. It's almost done.
All right, Reggie says, did Reggie show up in the playoffs last year against the Hawks? Not really.
Did he disappear really though?
Yeah, he did. There was that's remember I told you about that. I said there was a lot of Hawk fans that were kind of laughing at us when we picked him up because of that playoff series or whatever. And so yeah, he really didn't show up that well. Cause man, he was getting cooked by Trae Young, but it's Trae Young though, man. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Like it's just like saying folks are getting cooked by Luca in the playoffs. It's Luca. And I keep telling folks that when there's really no lockdown defenders like that anymore. You have to. That's why they grasped onto the team concept of defense. If the team plays great defense, then you have a better chance of winning. There's not really a lot of lockdown players like this.
Excuse me. You better call him. He might be a lockdown defender.
Reason why I said that because look at the two best lockdown defenders in the league last year was getting rotisserie, cooked, baked, fried by Luca last year. Luca's averaging what? 30? What was it? 35?
Yeah.
For his career? No, it's 30.
It's 33 for his career. It's 35 last year though.
Last year, yeah. That's it.
But I think it is a first and foremost, I do think it's a lockdown defender in the league. His name is Ben Simmons. I think I think Ben Simmons is a lockdown defender. I think not a great defender and all like Giannis. Even Giannis is an awesome defender. But there's times you get like Joel Embiid putting a bucket on him and all that stuff like that, which is fine. That's okay.
Nowadays players are more skilled.
That's fine. I watch Ben Simmons lock people down though. I don't care how skilled you are. Ben Simmons is that good. That's why I told you I took Ben Simmons in. I've watched Ben Simmons lock people down. It's like even Trae Young in the playoffs. The rest of the team had to show up at that point against Ben Simmons. Ben Simmons was locking him down. Like so, and also Reggie Bullock. I think the game this year, going back to him against the Hawks, when he ripped the ball out of Trae Young's hand and all, that was
payback from the playoffs.
That was payback. He remembers all that stuff that happened. He feels like I have a squad now. I have a squad of goons with me right now as far as they ready to fight. And we already got an issue with you, Trae, as far as the Luka trade thing. So I got my team with me now. We with another squad. I'm with these guys are the guys that don't like you. So, I think this year, man, Reggie Bullock is incredible. Reggie don't get talked about enough. We talk bad about him. Reggie's been incredible for this team so far this year. Like, Reggie is, for all the failures we've been through these past recent years, as far as trying to get people in trades from other teams and guys not working out, Reggie Bullock is probably the best example we've gotten in I don't know how long, as far as actually getting a guy that comes in and does what he's supposed to do. So
what's that saying? Third time's a charm.
Third time's a charm, man. Reggie, man. I don't think. Do I think Reggie's not going to show up in the playoffs this year? Nope. I have no problem. I think Reggie's gonna be fine. I think Reggie's gonna make his buckets. I think he'll
I just
play
hope he come
defense.
back from his injury still hot, man. That's what I hope.
What was the injury? It was just that contusion on his hip, right, or whatever, on the arm, shoulder, or something. When he
Yeah, but
fell
what's
down,
that mean though?
he'll be back tomorrow. He'll be back Friday.
You think he'll be back for? I think.
If he doesn't play Friday, then talk to me. I think he'll be back. That's long enough. I think he could have really
Yeah, I
played
say he's
just
been
like
out
the
for what,
playoffs or
almost
something.
2 weeks now, huh?
Yeah, because remember he was shooting. He still played in the game for a second when he got the injury or whatever. He made another three and
Oh,
all, and then he went and sat down. I think he could have played. He hurt himself on the shoulder, so they're like, all right, just get it healed. And plus, it was on his left arm, not his shooting shoulder or nothing like that. So he'll be fine. He should be fine. He should be playing Friday.
all right, let's get to these other ones here. Morlock says, love JB, but he will never be in an All Star game nor be first team anything. Got to trade him if you can get something better.
They said that
Yeah,
about Fred
we got
Van
that. We
Vliet.
got that argument.
They said that
Let's,
about Fred Van Vliet too. And I'll say this to y'all too. Let the Mavericks be a top seed in the NBA one year. Let's say next year they run this back, they do something. They got the same squad or whatever, and they get a big man. They become a top 3 seed in the conference. Who else gonna make the All Star game? You think they're not gonna give it to JB if he putting up 20 a game?
nah, Dwight Powell, bro.
Oh, you right for the community, man. Because especially if it's in Dallas.
Community, community All Star team, man. Johnny P said, King, I love JB, but I'm taking Zach over him anyway. Anytime, probably any time of the year, twice on Sundays, and so is anybody who's ever watched basketball. I mean, yeah, I just would take Zach Levine right now.
Again, Zach LaVine is better than Jalen Brunson.
But
I'm not
I see what
disagreeing
you were
with
saying though.
the value I'm talking about. See, I'm going past that. See, I need to talk to Bob Vulgaris right now because you're not getting this, JB. You know, we got you got to have guys that actually talk as far as money and all. We're talking about the value for your money. We're saying that the missing piece is not only the defense, as we said, but playmaking, but also a rim protector in the middle and getting rebounds. We get Zach LaVine, that's another max contract that ties us down, like a huge max contract that ties us down. There's not going to be a lot of money left to try to find somebody else to do that other than this buyout market, which you guys aren't excited for to hear. So if I can get a guy that does almost as much as Zach LaVine in the playoffs, and then also can use the rest of that money for somebody else, you got to think about it bigger than that. It's about the big picture. That's what I'm saying. I'm not saying JB's better than Zach. No, I'm not that crazy.
Bro, now that you said Mitchell Robinson, he on my radar.
That's what I'm. So if so, let me ask you this. Let me rewind the question again. Then JB puts up 22 a game in the playoffs, right? You have the opportunity to get JB and Mitchell Robinson this year, or Zach LaVine. Who you taking?
Yeah, I take JB Mitchell Robinson. You need a
There you
center
go.
for that.
That's all I said. That's all I'm saying. That was a different way of explaining it. There we go. That's all I'm saying.
Daryl says I'm taking Zach LaVine all day. JB is not an all-star. Good role player, but not an all-star.
I don't got to prove it no more. It's late in the show.
King, what's going on, man? They own you.
They own me, but I just said it to you, and y'all just heard Ralph say, yeah, I agree with that one. So I'm telling you, if you had the choice of Mitchell Robinson and JB or Zach LaVine, y'all picking Zach LaVine?
Yeah, y'all answer that in the comments. He says, King, if you're right, and I hope that you are, I will lead the way in apologies. I just don't trust Luca supporting cast in the playoffs. Like I said, I just need to see it first. I've been saying it all year. Like I said, love the team. I love what they're doing. The defense is way better than it's ever been under Rick Carlisle, which we probably need to talk about that coaching list too, bro. So let me get this straight. I know it's changing the subject a little bit, but this came in my mind. So you telling me Ed Spoelstra right now is over Rick Carlisle as far as being a top 15 coach of all time?
Eric, so this is the thing. I don't watch the Heat games as much as I need to because I'm not a Heat fan, obviously being a Mad fan. But Eric Spoelstra does have 2 championships, right?
But who did you have on those championship teams, though?
You're 100% right. But I feel like Eric Spoelstra was underappreciated back when he had LeBron and them. They were like, he's just the extra guy that's just leading them. Pat Riley could have led this team. They just threw somebody out there after Stan Van Gundy. But I feel like after those guys have left, the transition and how Eric Spoelstra has had that team still competitive, making the finals and stuff like that, that has elevated Eric Spoelstra to the level of being a top 15. I don't know if I'd have called him a top 15 coach. Like they started to
That's
go.
what I'm saying.
He might be the best coach in the league now. They say
Is
and
it?
all.
Hold on, is that? Let me make sure I'm getting this right. Is that list all time or
That's
is that
all time.
just?
That's all time, bro.
You know what I'm saying?
That's something. But 15 of. I mean, but if Doc Rivers in there, why isn't our Spoelstra in there?
No, we are talking about Doc Rivers. I 1,000,000% agree with that. I think Doc Rivers is probably one of the most overrated coaches I've ever seen in my life. You got one championship out of the big three in Boston.
That's a
You
disappointment.
could not get out of the second round with the Clippers of Chris Paul, DeAndre Jordan, and Blake Griffin.
Yep, and Jamal Crawford.
So I mean, and you just couldn't get it right in Philly with Ben Simmons and Joel Embiid. So that's why I said, I mean, because if you think about it, Coach Brown did a better job than him in Philly.
Technically, yes.
So that's why I said like that list. I'm like, okay, yeah, he got the championships, but it's like, look who you had on your team to get those championships. Like I said before, when Rick Carlisle won that championship in Dallas, that was a coaching job. Nobody expected that team to go anywhere that year. We bring up the fact that Dallas was not supposed to beat Portland in the first round. You got past the first round. You swept the Lakers with Kobe. You beat the Big Three in Oklahoma City, and then you beat the Miami Heat Mega Three that year. So I mean, it's like, bro, that right there. Then on top of that, Rick Carlisle has been to both the Eastern Conference Finals and the Western Conference Finals.
Yeah, but what's the name been to the finals twice though? Doc Rivers. That's probably why. Remember, he went with the Boston 2 times. They lost once to Kobe and them. Yeah, so that's why they do it. But I mean, if that's the case, then you got guys like Nick Nurse. Nick Nurse is.
I would give Nick Nurse a whole lot more credit. Now I know that's not fair. I understand. I understand it's not fair. I'm just saying, like,
Nick ain't did it as long. That's probably the only thing. Like, as far as right now, I pick Nick Nurse as a better coach than Doc Rivers. Right.
That's not a question, bro. Like,
that's what I'm saying. So, it's the only issue is that Doc Rivers did it longer, and he had a super team that he did it with when he had a squad, which truthfully underachieved as a super team. But I don't know. I mean, Eric Spoelstra, like we said, he gets his run with a super team, but I feel like his coaching is actually his resume is more benefits more from him after his championships or whatever, like we said. But Doc Rivers, since the championships, since that one championship hasn't really
lead chokes in NBA history.
I remember Doc Rivers coaching Tracy McGrady and being up 2-1, was it, or 2 something?
3-1 on to Detroit.
Yeah, it was 3-1 on Detroit because it was the first year they changed it to 7. You're right. Yeah. First year they changed it to 7. He was up 3-1 when he said he was going. It was good about the first round, and then they lost that one to Detroit. So yeah, I've been watching Doc Rivers for a long time, and I don't know how he's on there either. I guess you got to have a black coach on there. So
I guess, man.
I appreciate it. But yeah.
All right, man. I think that's it, King. I think over 2 hours, man. We did a 2-hour long questions and comments video. It was pretty animated on this one. We did pretty good on this one, man. Got the usual suspects plus a few new people who commented today. Let's appreciate y'all, man. We thank y'all for rocking with us tonight, man, on this questions and comments. We're gonna probably do one like this again, man. We'll see how things go. We're definitely going to pick back up with the We Talk Mavs post-game show on Friday after the Mavs play the Utah Jazz in Utah. That game is at 8 o'clock, so, man, I don't know what time our post-game video going to be, but we will have one on Friday night for you guys. So come join us on Friday night after the Utah game. Hopefully it's a win, man. If it's a win, we're going to be turned up in here, y'all.
Daryl, if you're still on here before you finish, Daryl, if you're still on here, we should do like Rel said, top 15 coaches. That's a good We Talk NBA topic. I think we should have.
That's another thing too, man. I want y'all to go follow Daryl's well, let me see if I can find it here.
Twitter.
Oh, you said what?
His Twitter.
Yeah.
Glow Sun We Talk NBA.
Yeah, Glow Sun We Talk NBA. So Glow Sun _ do you know how is it Glow Sun _ We Talk NBA?
We Talk NBA, I believe. Yes.
Daryl, I apologize, man. If you in here, I'm sorry, man. Hold on, he might be in here. Okay, here you go. Oh no, wait. Damn.
No, it's Glow. Sorry, it's Glow We Talk NBA. So all one word. GLO We Talk NBA.
Wait, no, I think that's the Instagram.
No, that's Twitter. I'm on it right now. Oh no, Glow We Talk _ NBA. Sorry.
Yeah, Glow We Talk _ NBA. I've been
Yes.
missing that whole thing though, man. Look, I'm
Yeah.
sorry, man. Blame it on King. But yeah, that's his Twitter handle, guys. If y'all love talking NBA, guys, follow him on there. He's another one of our Glow Sun production crew members. Um, I can't tell you when his next video is. He's gonna have if you follow him on his social, like King just said, he'll probably post it on there. But for us, we will be back on Friday after the Utah Jazz. Hold on, my brother said something. He said, "My bad, King. Yes, I'm talking about JB and Mitchell over Levine. I like JB as third option better. Yeah, I do too, man. I
So
do
he's,
too.
he's taking GB. Hold on. He's saying he would take.
Hey,
That's
he
what I'm
said he'll
saying.
take that. He'll take that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'd rather have JB as a third option. I'm not disagreeing, but what I'm
Mm.
saying is I don't think we can get. So you're asking for a
But we
bunch of Zach
need plus
LaVine.
Zach Levine.
Yeah, like that's a lot to do with this current team that we got to still make
Zach
all of
Levine's
these
going to
work.
command some money,
Yeah, like Zach
especially after
LaVine
being an
is
All Star.
is a max player. He's a max
Yeah.
player. He's a
Matter of
max player.
fact, what's the criteria for a supermax? Is it All
I,
Star or is
I
it
think
just
it's all I think it's all NBA as well. I don't think he's going to be the super max. I think he's going to get the max at the super max he can get, but he's not getting the super
Well,
max
I
as
thought it was
well.
either or. Like if you get cause
It
matter of fact,
might
because Rudy
go
got
to
the
all
supermax
NBA,
off the defensive award, off the
but
defensive list.
Rudy usually all NBA though. As far as he makes usually one of the teams.
Oh, okay.
He usually at least
Um.
third team, or
Oh,
even I
okay.
think he's been first team before Rudy Gobert.
He probably
Not
has.
the
I'm not
defense.
sure,
I
but
mean, just the
okay.
normal. He's a center position. So at one point, the centers weren't anybody to be.
I think the year he got it supermax. I think he got it from because of that year he was on the defensive list though.
Yeah,
Oh,
defensive
and
list. And
he
plus, he
also
got
got defensive player of the year that year. So
defensive
yeah,
player of the year. That award makes him super max
eligible.
eligible as
Yeah.
well. Yes.
But yeah. So that'll probably do it for us, guys. Listen, if you're new to the channel, guys, please do us a huge favor and subscribe to the channel, guys. We're definitely gonna try to. I don't know. Me and King will try to figure out a time when we can do this. The whole uh all questions, comments. Like I said, we had a little time because of the whole. We had a break in between games. So, and another thing too, guys. Please go ahead and follow our Twitter here. We have this right here up right now. We have a poll going up right now. Are you upset that the Mavs were not able to land Dragic? That's on our Twitter page at We Talk Mavs. So I can go to that and go ahead and throw your vote in for that.
Yeah.
But like I said, subscribe to the channel, guys. If you're new to the channel, hit that like button, guys. If you enjoyed the content, subscribe to We Talk Mavs right there below King right there. Not subscribe. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Follow We Talk Mavs, guys. We definitely active on Twitter. We will be back on Friday night when they play the Utah Jazz. Once again, it is your boy Real. Got my co-host King. We Talk Mavs here on the Glow Sun Sports YouTube channel. We'll be back on Friday, same Mav time,
Same
same
Mav
Mav
channel.
channel. Go
Peace.
Mavs.
GG's little gang.
Yes, sir.